Hey, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to episode 2 of Keeping Up with the Joneses. If you're joining us on YouTube, do us a favor, hit that little like button right down there. And if you dislike it, you can hit that button too. Don't forget to join our dysfunctional family and hit the subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we're on. Tonight on the show, our special guest from Ed&Eddie's Silver and Blue father and son duo, Ed and Eddie. From Dallas Cowboys Uncensored, Eric, Mr. Producer Berger. And unfortunately for all of us, the reason Prozac was invented, Charlie Moffat. My name is Rika. I'm the author of Rika Moves the Chains blog. My TDs are real and they're spectacular. Hey guys, twistedgorilla.com is the best place online to get t-shirts. They've got funny t-shirts, sarcastic t-shirts, and most importantly, they've got Cowboys t-shirts. So if you're a fan of this show, if you're a fan of the Cowboys, if you're a fan of shirts in general, go to twistedgorilla.com and let them know that you're a fan when you use coupon code RIKA15 at checkout. That website and that coupon code are in the ticker right down there.
What up?
Yes.
What's good, everybody?
And good examples of those shirts.
Glad we finally got y'all on the show. Guys. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Owen already in the group.
Thank you, Matt Owen.
What
Mr.
Up,
Meeker, thank you.
Meeker's in the house too.
Yes.
What's up, Jack?
We are too, buddy. We are too. How do y'all want to get this started?
Well, let Ed and Eddie tell them where they can find them at.
Oh, of course. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ed&Eddie Silver Blue, just a father-son, Cowboy fans for combined more than 60 years. We pretty much talk about this all the time anyway, so we thought we'd do it on YouTube.
Yeah, feel free to check us out. Ed's name is Ed&Eddie Silver and Blue. Feel free to subscribe.
Hell yeah.
Right.
We are really bad at producing this show. Every week with the t-shirts, we mess up.
I mean, I think the goal is just next week to feed me. It must be a sign, you know.
Matt has a good question. Which one is Ed and which one is Eddie?
I'm Ed Sr.
Eddie Jr.
Yeah. There we go. All right, so let's talk about Tampa Bay.
Do it.
All right, so where are we at, guys? You know what? I almost felt victorious when that thing was over. Charlie and I called it at 31-27. It came in 31-29. A week before, I was called in on Skywalker's morning show over on A to Z Sports. That's a great show if you haven't checked it out. And I gave him a list of things. I said, if we can do all of these things, we're going to keep it competitive and we're going to almost win. I said, we're going to almost win if we don't win. I said, we might win by just a smidge or we're going to lose by just a smidge, but it's going to be competitive. It's going to be a great game. So I kind of felt victorious when it all came to fruition, when my psychic abilities were honed in so well. Ed and Eddie, what did you guys think? What are some takeaways for you?
On our preview, I predicted 34-27, and I think he was 38-28.
Yeah.
So it pretty much went along the lines of what we thought. And when people say, yeah, there's no moral victories, that's fine. We'll take the L, but it's also okay to appreciate the way your team played. And I thought they played really good, and they were right there at the end. They could have and maybe should have won.
And all things considered, too, I mean, on the road against the world champs, they played far better than I thought they would. All things considered, if we could play at that level against basically anybody else, that's easily winning the division. Like, that's a lot of good things to take away from it.
Right.
I enjoyed the game plan.
Yeah. Coming from where we were last year to seeing what we did Thursday night, I didn't have just a whole lot of complaints. So sorry, Eric, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I just thoroughly enjoyed the game plan, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I thought Moore did a fantastic job of exploiting weaknesses, much like they were going to do to us. I mean, we said it on the show before. That's the way that we had to go at them. A lot of folks wanted a heavy dose of Zeke, or at least a heavier dose. But I think he called a great game, and I'm excited for the rest of the season, knowing that there's no kind of JG handcuff on Moore to go ahead and figure out what that plan of attack should be on a weekly basis. So I was happy to see that.
Amen.
Mr. Moffitt.
He's producing.
What's that? I'm trying to share where.
Okay. Okay.
Initial
what
thoughts?
I think about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with Eric. I like the game plan.
Yeah.
I had it 31-27, so I wasn't far off.
I think probably I really have two major complaints with how we performed Thursday. I felt like one of the things I was looking for going into this season were tackles for loss. I wrote about it the week prior. I said, as far as tackles for loss go, in 2020 we only had 54, and of those 9 came from the linebacker core. The rest of our defensive groups were pretty on par with their tackles for loss numbers with the rest of the league. But in comparison, Tampa Bay in 2020 had 91 tackles for loss, and 45 of those, half, came from their linebacker group.
Wow.
We only had 1/5 of that. So we ended Thursday night with 0 tackles for loss, and that's something that I want to see substantially improved upon. My other problem was the red zone efficiency. We were only 25%. We got down there 4 times and only 1 touchdown, whereas Brady was down there 5 times for 3. So he was at 66%, something like that, and we were only at 25%. So if we had been just at 50%, it would have changed the outcome of that game. And that's traditionally something that we're bad at, is red zone efficiency. Over 2020, we ended up at about 50% right on, whereas the better teams in the league were all averaging 65 to 80%. So we have a lot of work to do in that area.
Yeah, Ed, you said Blake Jarwin there, and I would typically agree because I like the seams against that defense like that. But I feel like their safeties were a little bit better than their corners, at least with matchups as far as matching up with our wide receivers. I feel like Winfield and company, they were a little stronger there. I like the whole attack, just receiver screen, receiver D, over the middle. I think they picked on us exactly how we picked on them. And but I will say this. I was a little upset with Dan Quinn. So on the other side of the ball, I felt like Parsons wasn't used correctly at the beginning of the game. I felt like he got a little bit more comfortable and you saw a little bit better coverage later on. But I felt like he could have been used way better up front, coming up the middle, pushing that pocket up in Brady's face. Osa had a lot of success early doing that and kind of moving him off his spots. And I felt like we could have used another body back in there.
I agree with that. My Blake Jarwin comment was more in relation to that one play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was open.
that would have changed our stats quite a bit in one play.
Well, the
Dak
1-2,
missed a few.
I meant the 1-2 where it's like he had kind of that missed block on the safety, which would have sprung an Elliott touchdown, but.
Yeah, the way it looked like they set up, just going back and watching that play, it looks like the block on the outside was kind of bracketed to the outside, like there was a cutback lane. I don't think it should have been stretched as far as it was.
Right.
You see the other tight end go inside and kind of put his back towards the sideline there, so it felt like it was like
Feeling the lane.
The Lombardi run right through the alley. It felt like it was supposed to be cut up the field, especially with a back like Elliott. I mean, he'll probably be the first to tell you he fucked up there, but
Right.
For him to be looking for contact every year we've ever seen him, and then him to to make that decision on that particular play was a little disappointing. I think he'd be the first to tell you he messed that one up.
Agreed. I think the red zone efficiency is going to ratchet up as the season goes on big time, though. This is a great defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also would have liked to see Dak's number called a little more.
Bluff's letting us always 10 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I am the biggest believer of we need to run back out of those design quarterback runs 5 to 7 times a game. And I was going to say, I think when the season goes on a little bit further, he'll get more comfortable with his ankle. Those design read options, yeah.
Agreed, Eric.
I like the way you said that, though. He'll get a little bit more comfortable because it did look at a few times maybe scrambling a little bit, like he didn't have, he wasn't 100%, maybe stumbling over it a little bit. I mean, that could be anything. It's not necessarily the injury, but just coming back from that and having to move that quickly laterally on the run. Getting outside of the pocket, escaping a pass rush there. But I think you're right. I think it'll a little bit more strength building on that, and then with the game being game ready, dealing with the speed at this level, we should see a little bit more out of him in the run game.
I have heard that leg injuries and ankle injuries like that, it takes more mental recovery than physical, and so that stands to reason.
Yeah.
It does.
My good friend Mr. Gilmore in the chat tonight, he says he's going to shock me with his statement. In 44 years, nothing that has come out of his vulgar mouth has not shocked me. So I'm ready. Whatever he's got, throw it at me, baby. Sorry, Charlie, go ahead.
Nothing. I was just agreeing about that leg injuries. It's more.
Well, I was going to say something we were also talking about too. Like, kind of one of the things we'd like to see a little bit better of is, I don't know if it was maybe an injury or just first game woozies or what, but we got to see better kicking, man. Like, I think there was a large Cowboy fan base. Same thing. That's like,
I can't tell you how many times I screened at my TV. Yeah. Bones got all his guys, and
right.
kicking game looked terrible. Brian Anger had a couple of deep punts, but coverage was just terrible on both. I don't know why we're not kicking through the end zone with Greg the leg. I mean, that's really the only reason we brought him here is he's got a fucking cannon for a leg, so kick it.
And when we don't go through the end zone, let's not allow him to get to midfield on the return.
That's what I'm saying. The coverage was terrible. He got all his guys, so there's no excuse. I think if I had to rate these coaches, I thought Mike McCarthy had a good game. I thought Kellen Moore had a good game. I thought DQ was a little questionable. And Bones, that's an L for me.
Yeah. I have a question for you guys and for the chat about Greg Zuerlein. And I haven't looked up anything on this. It popped into my head. I did zero research, so I honestly don't have an opinion formed on this. But here's my question. Is Greg Zuerlein bad? Or is Greg Zuerlein an average kicker, and we recognize it as bad because Dan Bailey spoiled us?
No, he's a good kicker.
No, he's a good kicker.
Coming off back surgery.
Because I always feel like he's bad.
Groin too.
Yeah.
I think after the groin in L.A., he hasn't been the same. And they may see something in practice where they feel like he's the same. But I didn't like his comment. You don't even really practice those. The little short one that he shanked, way left. I didn't like the comment there, but I don't know. hopefully he gets better because that's unacceptable. He said you don't really practice those. Like, what the fuck do you do all day then? You're not in the fucking weight room. What are you doing?
Don't say that if you miss it.
Oh, exactly. Don't say it if you miss it. Because, that's kind of one of our 10 commandments of football. Number 6, if you miss 3 or more kicks in a game, you lose the game. And kind of showed out there. It's like, dude, you can't say you don't practice that if you're going to miss those. Like, come on, dude.
And I think, I want to say this because we lost that game by such a narrow margin. We lost that game by a field goal. And you could say it was on Greg, or you could say it was on several things. There's several different scenarios that could have changed the outcome of that game. However, I will say that when I put my 53 together, I took quite a bit of flack because I wanted to keep the guy that was that kicker punter hybrid and use a roster spot and keep him on there, because I knew that if something went wrong and we lost Zuerlein to a COVID test or an injury in the first quarter, that we needed a kicker that wasn't a punter. We needed a real kicker because the Dallas Cowboys come down to narrow games all the time. And in 2019 especially, there were, I think, off the top of my head, I'm thinking at least 3 or 4 games that we lost because of bad kicking from Brett Maher. So I felt it was worth the roster spot. And as you can see, we lost that thing. And I'm not saying they would have put somebody in besides Zuerlein. I'm just saying you need a reliable kicker all the time. And with COVID and all the things that are happening, I don't mind using a roster spot to make sure that you've got somebody there that you can count on to get you that 3 points when you need it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is he still in the league?
I don't know. We brought him in
Probably
at
not.
Who?
Free
Who?
agent, huh? The GOAT?
the goat. Wait,
Jeff
who are we
Heath.
talking about? Jeff.
Oh, I don't remember. I think didn't he sign with? He signed with somebody. I thought
I thought he was with the Raiders, but I thought he was released.
he was.
Yeah.
But I thought he signed with somebody.
Somebody else picked him up, but I can't remember either. Maybe the Bears.
Someone
I
needed
don't
a
know.
kicker, I'm
Somebody
sure.
did.
I
Yeah.
remember that. You know, but Eddie made a good point on our video that we recorded about this game, and he said, you know, giving him slack because he came off back surgery. Just don't have him on the roster if that's the case. Okay, just have a kicker. There's plenty of kickers out there that can make extra point length field goals. You know, in the meantime, bring him back when he's ready.
And kind of an odd thing about that too was, you know, a lot of people look at the game and say, "Oh, you guys won the turnover battle. You guys should have dominated." But when you really think about it, you know, missed kicks are just like a turnover. You know,
Yeah.
other team gets the
Comment
ball, they
back
get it
out
out of
there.
field.
Kai
Yeah.
Forbath. Matt knows how much I love Kai Forbath. I was screaming that about a month ago. Isn't there a pair of seafoam pants laying around the star somewhere that'll fit Kai Forbath? Get that guy on a plane. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't think Kai did anything wrong to lose his job there. I think it
I
was
didn't
really
think
just
so either. I
a
thought he
sponsorship.
Purpose why you don't
did
keep
a
two
great
kickers.
job for us when
That's why
Mara
there's no
was
need to keep
screwing
two
it up.
kickers on the roster because there's
Yeah.
ones out there.
Yeah.
If something happens next week and they're like, "Fuck, Greg just can't do this year," or for a couple of games, just go fucking grab one.
Also,
Right.
Dan Bailey would be a no for me. Not only does he can't
He's
kick
bad.
deep kicks, he's not good close.
He's,
So
he's turned bad.
he's just bad. Yeah, he'd be a no
Not
for me.
anymore. He had a good run though.
Yeah.
But I'll take Ford. I'm with Eric. Forbath, if you look at his career, I don't know why that motherfucker can't keep a job.
He must
Because
talk
it's
a
not
lot of
like
shit
it's not like
or
he's-
something. I don't
yeah,
understand.
something.
In this case, it's just Bones brought his own guys in.
Bones
They
No, that's
sponsorship.
exactly what it is. It's
guys,
sponsors.
they let them, and right now it is not looking good. Him and his
Yeah,
guys.
he
it's
literally-
low if they keep it up.
He kept his whole. I mean, he got everybody he wanted. Everybody
It's
that anybody's ever said is a special team ace.
Fuck yeah, we released
know.
our goddamn long snapper in fucking 20 goddamn years for his guy.
Yeah,
I mean, like Jesus
McQuaid.
Christ, the dude didn't do nothing wrong. I mean, and they released him. And you're taking a chance when you do that, you know. Long snapper ain't easy to do. And once you get that job, you're pretty much gonna keep that shit for a long time.
It's funny too, Rika. You said it earlier. Yeah, it's not. It's so weird, but you know, I've always noticed with kickers for our team, it's just they're either really good or they're just terrible. We've been spoiled sometimes with a prime Dan Bailey, a prime Nick Folk, you
Yeah.
know. But then there are just other times where it's like Brett Maher, you know.
We kind of hang
David
on to him too long, I think.
Mhm.
It happened with Chris Jones too. I mean, he was the Punisher forever, right?
We hang on to him till we break
And then
him.
he's averaging 25, 28 yards a kick, and you're like, what happened? And this is like a couple of years, you know. I think we just hang on too long.
And speaking of special teams during that game, I've been watching since the 70s, and that first punt of the game by that damn Tampa kicker
Minion.
was the best punt I've ever seen.
He did 3 more of those. I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
where are they from now?
Yeah, he was good that night.
All right.
Dave Bueller. I forgot all about that guy.
Bueller.
Yeah, he was a kickoff specialist. Parcells carried him in another. I can't remember who the other one was. Matt probably remember. He's got a good brain.
Hey, what up, what up, what up?
Hey,
Right, Mr. Bluff, Marcus Jones himself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Glad to be here. Had to
Good to
break
see you.
several traffic laws to get here, but
Hey, man, stop.
you see, Marcus got a Twisted Griller shirt on tonight.
yeah.
Hey,
Rocking my new
let's go.
Nice.
shirt.
Very
I like that.
nice.
Get it.
If anybody missed the beginning of the
Yeah.
show, just don't forget twistedgorilla.com is the best place online for t-shirts. They've got funny t-shirts, sarcastic t-shirts, and most importantly, they've got Cowboys t-shirts.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of the show, make sure to let them know and save 15% at checkout when you use code RICA15. That website and that coupon code are right down there in the ticker below.
And don't forget to hit like on this video.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
dislike.
hit like
Either
or
one.
dislike.
It doesn't matter.
Hey,
Hey,
leave a
every time
comment,
you hit
too.
that like button, an
Yeah,
Eagles
leave a
fan
comment.
cries.
If
Yeah,
you're
right.
watching us the second time around, leave
You
a
can hit
comment. I actually get back to them.
Yeah, you can hit dislike and say we suck, and I'm okay with that.
Tell us why.
Just
Yeah.
you don't have to tell us why. You can just tell me I suck, and I'll tell you thank you.
Mhm.
And I'm a full 3X, and the shirt fits great, super soft.
Outstanding.
I have to fight my girlfriend for it because she likes wearing my shirts to sleep in.
Yeah,
The
so no.
softer the shirt, the more she loves it. And when I took it out of the pack, and she looked at it, and we just stared at each other for a minute. I'm like, no, I gotta wear it at least once.
I feel that to
Well,
the
you can make
core.
claim
Man. I
to.
feel that to the core. We're just going over the recap of the Tampa Bay game, kind of just bouncing around to players and coaches and whatever. What are your thoughts? I guess general thoughts on Tampa Bay.
All right. Well, before we get started, I want to say what's up to the guys in the box over next to me was Ed and Eddie.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I've been watching
Glad to
as
be
I
here, man.
drove.
This is
So
exciting.
you guys been doing a great job of holding it down until I got here. So I'm looking forward to hopping in the middle of the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and also I see Matt O has been busy in the comments, so thank you, and Jack Meeker also. And I see we got MJ Gilmore as well. So appreciate all you guys with these great comments. Make sure you like and share. So what was the topic? What was the Tampa topic?
We've just been bouncing around there. We waited on you for the structure of the show.
We don't know what we're doing.
We're just kind of talking about shit, man. Anybody that stood out. We've gone over special teams sucking. We've gone over a few defensive likes and dislikes. We've kind of bounced around here and there.
Talked about special teams.
Yeah, talked about red zone efficiency.
Marcus' specialty.
Yeah.
What'd you think about special teams, Marcus?
Awful.
Thank you.
One word, awful.
Okay, we're moving on then.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. Bones has a lot of influence in their locker room, like more than a special teams coach
and any team ever.
Right, exactly. Because I look at some of the formations he does. I don't like how they only have one jammer on punt team. Like you're pretty much setting it up for guys to get those bounces at the 2 and 3 yard line because you only got one guy blocking their gunner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry for people who don't know the jammer. Everybody's familiar with the gunners on the outside on punt. The jammers are the guys who stand in front of them to block them. When you look at a typical team, they normally have 2 guys at the blocking one guy.
Yeah, when there's a punt return called, right, you're trying to return this kick. You need to be jamming the gunner. So, yeah,
exactly.
Slide a guy outside. There's no reason not to. You're not going after the kick.
Yeah. And we typically, most teams have 2 jammers. We only have 1. And they don't even press at the line, which makes even less sense.
They kind of just run on the hip and deflect.
Exactly.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
So when people talk about the position battles, field position, and you see them down in the ball at the 2 and the 3 yard line, that's because their gunners have nobody to evade them to go get to the 1 yard line, turn around, and wait to watch the ball bounce to them. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And they get real cute on the kickoff.
They're trying to hit it right at the goal line and cover, but don't cover.
I looked at a couple of those. They didn't contain. Like the contain guys, it was overly aggressive. I'll say that. Instead of worrying about containing, they were all trying to worry about going down to make the tackle. And that's a great point too, Matto. That's definitely when you have a guy out there, because on our team, the jammer is Cedric Wilson and CJ Goodwin. We all know CJ Goodwin can't cover. And Cedric Wilson is a receiver. So if you got gunners out there who are receivers, you're leaving yourself wide open for that fake punt because those guys can't cover. So definitely something we got to pay attention to in the future.
That's an interesting thought. I'm just now thinking about that.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's a great point.
That's pretty much all I got on special teams.
We can move along.
Yeah.
Let's save offense for last because obviously that was the highlight for us. Let's talk about defense.
All right. Oh, first of all, we got to give a shout out to Osa.
Oh man,
Yeah.
great game.
One game, and I'm convinced this kid is legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one for sure.
Mm-hmm. And people I saw a lot of people on social media talking about the lack of pass rush. If you go back and watch the game, after about halfway through the second quarter, they really just stopped traditional pass rushing. Like we weren't even focused on trying to get around the tackles. Everything was clog the middle, get Brady off his spot. There was no try to get around the edge and get to him. And that was just the game plan. I know people don't like to hear that or see it, but I feel like this coming week, and we'll probably talk about this, we'll see more of our pass rush. This week, it was purely just try to wedge the middle.
Yep. I'd like to welcome Andrew Lunsford in. He's a big MCF person. He's always in their chats. Thank you for coming. And of course, the podcast show hooker, the lunatic.
What up, D?
What up, D?
You lunatic.
Yeah, we definitely got a high ceiling.
There's no question. There's a ton of potential, right? I felt like Parsons looked a little lost in the beginning in coverage. And it may not even be necessarily his fault. I mean, you're going against Tom Brady, and he's gonna put you in bad spots. It just happens. But I felt as the game went on, he was definitely better in coverage. You saw him make a couple plays on the running backs he covered. He got turned around on Gronk once, and it may not have been in that. I don't know if it's the right play I'm talking about, but it may not have been his fault. But I felt like he was just not, like you said. He felt like the pressure came up the middle. I didn't see him come up the middle that much, and I wanted to see him more up the middle. I saw him on the outside a lot. Him and Basham, I felt like got a lot of snaps, and D-Law was out. I don't know what was up with that. I felt like that was a little suspect, but
D-Law never plays more than 65% of the snaps. It bothers me that you pay a guy that much.
I mean, I understand, getting the rest and trying to be at your highest level, of energy, but I gotta see you out there more, bro. You're the best, probably the best run stopping defensive end and surely the best pass rushing defensive end we have.
Aaron Donald plays 80% of the snaps. No excuse.
As a tackle,
from the inside.
Way bigger guys, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah. The lunatic, no, it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. I love you being here. Not at all.
I was actually a little disappointed in the pass rush. I thought Gregory and D-Law would have a little more impact. And I get it. It's Brady, and he really is the GOAT, and he can get rid of the ball so quick. But they had almost, very little impact at all. The only one they did was Armstrong.
Armstrong,
yeah.
Gregory disappeared other than the fumble.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know, right? He slapped the shit out of his hand, and he kept it.
Most other QBs would have dropped it. Yeah. Something else I kind of noticed, I like seeing how active some of our corners were outside of Burnt Toast and Anthony Brown. Like, I love seeing Diggs get so active, the fumbles, the interceptions, just they were all over the place. And that's such a great sign to see with our secondary.
Great safety play for a change.
Yeah.
J-Ron Curse, everybody, welcome. Welcome J-Ron Curse to the starting position. I don't care which safety position you give it to him. Just give it to him. He needs to be on the field.
Nickel. I'll play him in nickel if I have to.
Anything. Get him on the field.
A few weeks ago, when he was guessing starters, I've had him as a starter for about a month now.
I think the same thing with Marcus too.
I'll give Bluff credit for that. He's the one that sold me on him.
I think Matt Owen had a say, back whenever y'all were starting it too, that Matt was saying it too.
Matt Owen's been on the brand bandwagon for a while too.
Yep.
Yeah.
He sure has.
As well as KZ. I got to give him his props for KZ.
KZ stood up, man. I mean, he did all right. What was it? Did he have the recovery, or he's the one that punched out the ball there at the end?
He forced the fumble on the.
That's what it was. And J. Lou picked it up, I think.
Yep.
That was a great play.
Great play too by D-Law earlier when he just punched the ball right out of the run.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
It's great to see it. I don't know how long fans have been, harping on why don't we do that, You know, watching all these other teams punch at the football all the time. I know the Ravens are really good at it. You know, Cardinals are really good at it. Why aren't we doing that?
Yeah.
And now we're seeing almost, you know, everybody's throwing a freaking. I mean, we were just standing them up, and everybody is just tagging them. So, I love to see.
So I've not played football, but I've been watching my whole life. And I was wondering if you're punching at the ball and you just miss and you clock the guy, is that going to be a penalty?
No,
Probably.
I don't think so.
As long as you don't touch the face mask, no.
Depends on who sees it.
And even then, because it's such a quick contact in and out, I don't think you'd get hands to the face or face mask or anything like that.
Yeah,
It had to be a real asshole ref to get that call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So
I mean,
it
I'm
would
not
happen
gonna
to
rule it
us.
out because
It would
you know,
happen. Yeah,
it would.
Yeah.
basically, yeah. I love that. Yeah, I knew way back in the spring when we first talked to Hooker before we actually, you know, when he hadn't cleared the medicals yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, damn, yes, that is exactly it. My life's journey has been leading me on this path to a Dallas Cowboys jersey that says Hooker across the back. This is my destiny. It's calling.
Oh, I got so much to say to that shit.
Hey, so let me
Come on,
ask you
Charlie.
a question real quick then. Since you brought up Hooker and he was inactive this week.
Mhm.
If we make him active, who's the odd man out in the secondary?
Anthony Brown. I mean, what?
No, I mean, yeah.
I bet he's a better corner than Anthony Brown.
I wouldn't be
I was just gonna
surprised.
say that.
Senior's a better corner than Anthony.
Hey.
Apparently. Apparently.
Actually, Anthony Brown wasn't worst graded corner on our team on the night.
Oh,
There's,
Yeah,
there's another one, the one I've been preaching about for 4 years, and everybody's been on his dick for 4 years.
mm-hmm.
Guess who it is?
J. Lou.
Jay
Really?
Lou. He was the lowest graded corner on our team.
I think because he
did-
gave up the touchdown, but
So did Anthony Brown.
Brown had so many tackles though. I think it kind of padded him. He led
Oh,
in tackles. I think he was.
J-Ron
He led
Pierce
it-
was tied. I think
Yeah.
they both had 11.
Yeah, I think Brown actually led in solo, but combined tackles they both had 11.
well, it's easy to lead in tackles when your guy constantly catches the ball. You
You're
just
getting
tackle.
picked on nonstop. Yeah.
Right.
No, but yeah, I'm surprised if J. Lou was rated worse than Brown, but
Yeah.
I need to see that. I need to see that algorithm. 'Cause
I don't think the touchdown was his fault.
I don't think so either. Wasn't it on Neil or not Neil?
It was on one of the.
There's Jordan Lewis with the big fat fucking whopping 35 grade.
Fingers are pulling it up. Yeah.
Probably with the
Anthony Brown at least almost got to fucking 50.
Yeah.
Jordan Lewis can't even get to fucking 40.
Good to see Kennedy not be the worst too. I like seeing improvement, but yeah, I honestly Brown or Lewis. I mean, I probably wouldn't be mad at either. You know, I prefer to see Hooker out there.
on that one touchdown across the end zone, I don't even know who was in coverage, but I think Micah was supposed to kind of help fill the middle there, and he drifted off to the side a little too far.
It was one of the linebackers, yeah, because Lewis was clearly playing outside leverage on that.
Leverage, yeah.
Right.
And, you know, I think for Micah, it's kind of one of those, he's a rookie and he's going to have a few moments like that throughout the season. And he's just got to grow into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As bad as his coverage was at times, man, his run defense is amazing, Micah. His ability to immediately recognize, although he fell for the one play action, admittedly, but he fills the hole so fast. It's a real nice change.
You know who he looked like? Devin White.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch the game again. It's the same dude on both teams. It's the same dude.
Yeah,
You're right about that.
He's so good about getting into the hole untouched and just kind of sliver in, but he's moving. He's moving.
Right. And he's what, 5 inches taller and 35 pounds heavier?
Yeah.
And quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely makes guys like Jalen and LVE maybe a little expendable.
But keep him coming downhill. I understand there's going to be
fucking expendable.
I understand there's you're going to be in coverage a lot with these linebackers, but some of those you can dial them up and just let him go. He needs to be coming downhill. He plays his best ball coming downhill. I know he's great at everything else and he can do everything else. I get all that. But you're going to get more out of him if he's coming forward. Play the run on the way to the quarterback if you want him to. Mm-hmm. But as soon as he sees that ball's not handed off on play action, I don't want him dropping back. He's already beat. because he comes down so hard. He's already beat. Just keep coming. Keep coming.
Go for that quarterback. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right, you lunatic. You're right. Yeah.
I know we haven't talked about offense yet, but
No, we ain't got there. That's the highlight, right?
okay.
Nah, but yeah, I was overall satisfied with the defense. I mean,
it wasn't
they
terrible.
got a lot. Well, see, I picked the game 31-27.
Yeah.
Because of the defense. And I know that's weird, but they actually played better than I thought they would, even though they gave it the same amount of points. But I picked that because I thought they was going to run the ball more.
We stopped the run. We stopped.
They just came. Yeah, we did, but they came out whipping the fuck out of it. It ain't like they tried to run. They was like, oh, we can't.
Yeah.
They just came out. If you would have told me Tom Brady was going to throw that much against us, I wouldn't pick them 31. I picked them 41. So in that sense, I thought we did pretty good. I mean, considering as much as they threw.
Yeah,
I thought we did. I thought we, and like I said, there's a lot of growing pains. That's why I picked us to lose. I know that defense, I think, could be top 15, top 12, but they're not going to come out of the fucking chute doing that.
No.
You know, you got Mika. I mean, he's a rookie. He's great, and he's going to be great for a while, but he's still a rookie, and so it's going to take a little while. Then you got new DC. They're doing a lot of different things. I don't like the linebacker rotation. I don't.
Stop that shit.
I think that's way too much. But I'll concede that was the first game. Maybe they was trying some things. Maybe they see on film they can't. Maybe they see on film they can, but they need to change some things. So we'll see how that works. But for the first game, I did not like the linebackers coming. Now with that said, Jalen only got what? It's like 16.
Outstanding.
So that's great. I mean, if we can get down to fucking 0, that would be even better. But I don't see that happen
next year.
You know? So, but yeah, I mean, I thought they did okay. And like I said, you got Neil playing fucking linebacker. He's never played it. I know it's a lot like what he did as a safety, but still, it is a different position.
Mm-hmm.
Mika's a rookie. You know, you got Jalen and LB that has it. You know,
are you doing that on purpose?
So you know, there's some things they can do better. You know, you got fucking Osa. I love that dude. I can't get enough of that guy. I mean. He is the shit. And it wouldn't surprise me that he's going to keep getting better. And when Gallimore comes back, Gallimore ain't getting that job back. That's going to be Osa's, and which is fine. That be
put him in the rotation.
Depth. That would be fucking great depth. You know, Urban, he did all right. I thought he did. I thought they all did okay. I mean, you got to put in context who the fuck we was playing. You know, I mean, I think people might have got their hopes up on a win too much. You know, I mean, could we won? Yeah, hell, we should have. But still, at the end of the day, I don't think it was that bad. No, I was overall happy with it. We'll clean it up. I think we'll do better against San Diego next week. I think there's a lot to clean up, and I think they'll get there.
What was the spread? 7, 8 points?
I think it was.
I got up to 9.
You got up to 9 last time I saw it. Yeah,
we beat Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas is pissed right now. They're like, holy shit! And it went up like an hour before the game, another half a point, like just right before the game. I guess all the money was coming in on Tampa, and they kept trying to get it higher, so they stopped. People didn't stop, and people lost the fuck out of some money.
Yeah. I love that comparison too, Matt. Leroy Glover, that's a great comparison for Osa.
Ooh, solid. Yeah.
It is a good comparison. Leroy Glover is good, but I think Osa's fucking top end is higher than Leroy Glover's. I'm not saying Leroy Glover sucked. He was a great player, but I think Osa can even be better than him. But it is a good comparison. They kind of built and everything the same.
Yeah. You know what I can't wait to see? Just thinking about this when you talk about Gallimore coming back. I can't wait till we all know D-Law is going to play 60%. When they start lining Osa up at their left defensive end spot with Gallimore and whoever you wanted to know.
You can do that too.
Regularly. Yeah.
Oh, off topic, real quick, and this is about Tampa. Dude, did you see fucking Vita line up at defensive end and fucking just bum rush fucking Tyron Smith?
Yeah,
I mean, just fucking pushed him right into Dak's lap. I'm like, holy shit. And when I saw that, I was even more impressed with Connor McGovern. I was like, and even Biadasz, badass, I can't say that fucking name, but even badass. The fact that they did as good as they did against that guy and fucking seeing what he did. I mean, because that one play, I didn't even see it live. I mean, I saw it live, but I didn't realize it was Vita. And somebody clipped it on Twitter. I'm like, holy shit, man, he just fucking manhandled Tyron Smith.
Yeah,
I mean, Tyron Smith usually gets his meat hooks on you, and you ain't going nowhere. Vita had fucking Tyron Smith on Dak's lap within a second. I'm like, God damn, dude. That's why I like them. Them one text, them fat guys, Everybody wants that big run stuffer that helps the run. I like them guys because they can do both. You don't have to take them off the field on passing.
Shit, he
downs.
played fullback on the touchdown too.
Yeah.
You can just put that comment up, and he cleared the path for that one.
He actually mattered on that. I mean that he did something on that one.
But the fact that he had the game and the the play against Tyron, and they brought him in to bang out fullback spot, McGovern
he did
beat the shit out of him all game.
He did great.
73 drop, or I forget the snap count, but he allowed 3 pressures. According to PFF, that's a subjective stat. So when I went back and watched, I didn't see him lose a snap. Now, when I say he didn't lose a snap, that means Dak never got off his spot. They might say, he was close within, range of pressuring Dak, but I never saw him come off the spot. I felt like he won every fucking snap. Run game, people were saying he was getting beat up in the run game. That's not true either. He beat Ndamukong Suh early. He beat Vita Vea. I mean, he pancaked Vita Vea. Pancaked him. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have the all-22. It does look like he got a chip from the
badass
tackle there, or someone looked like, but still.
Yeah, I had him one pressure. I see him one pressure. Dak ain't got to move for me to
possibly. I mean, he's in the argument for
before Dak threw it. Dak had to lift his leg up to throw it, and but that was only one. Yeah. I mean, and if you play Vita that often and you go 1-on-1, and he was 1-on-1, if you go 1-on-1 enough, that dude's going to beat you at times.
Yeah,
and I thought he played great. I was
he was awesome.
Yeah. And it's hard to stop a 350-pound running under a 5-second 40 defensive tackle. Like, that guy is a legitimate beast. But yeah, our guards held their own, man. I thought it was impressive.
And people don't understand that, because I watch social media and people talk about how we didn't run the ball. Vita Vea, when he's healthy, he could be the best defensive tackle in the league, because you don't see guys 350 who play all 3 downs.
It's him and Donald,
and are wrecking shop on all 3 downs. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then, like Charlie talked about, he plays at right defensive end and still generates pressure
against arguably one of the top left tackles in the league.
Unheard of.
Well, people that talk about we didn't run the ball enough, Zeke, the days of 25 carries a game are over anyway. That's just not the NFL anymore. He had 11 carries. It's not like they didn't run him at all. So it was clearly ineffective, though, and I thought their game plan, like Eric was talking about, was fantastic. Screw it. If you're going to pack the box. And by the way, so many times when he got tackled, it was by safeties. They were bringing everybody constantly.
Well, and a quick shout out for what he said, too. I mentioned it a little bit earlier on here, but, the Bucs defense, like for run defense, they're the best rated run defense since the 2011 49ers. So, I mean, they're one of the best run defenses of the past 10 years. I mean, most teams aren't going to run on them, and minus our best interior offensive linemen. Yeah, that's a hard sell. Yeah.
How many years have we yelled at Garrett for pounding it into the stacked box over and over, and then running a 12-yard curl on 3rd down?
That's your 2nd and 9, babe.
12-yard curl.
So
it's very seldom a 12-yard curl. Most times it's like a fucking 5-yard curl.
5
with another 6-yard curl.
Short of the sticks.
7-yard curl.
3rd and 7, 6-yard curl.
So Witten, no yards after the catch.
God, dang it.
So I thought it was offense. Great game plan. Great. What's that, Rika?
Oh, no, I just wanted to say, while we're on this topic, especially because I have something to say, there is an article, guys, floating around social media written by Mac Engel with the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. I'm not going to suggest that anybody in the chat or anybody watching this go read that article. I read it, and my IQ is now lower for having done so. Matt Engel is a moron who needs to lose his job. He needs to be writing copy over in the classifieds or maybe working at a gas station. Mac Engel has written an op-ed that is the stupidest thing I've ever read, and I don't think that he's watched a football game since 1986. I'm going to tell you some of the things he said. Ezekiel Elliott might as well have stayed at the Star along with injured players, is what he was referring to there. Game 1 of 2021 looked to be nothing more than a continuation of what I saw in 2020. if this is the way it's going to be and the Cowboys are just going to white flag the running game in the first quarter, there is no reason for Zeke to be on this team. Tampa's number one run defense was an excuse. No, fool. Tampa's number one run defense was a damn reason. Then he goes and he quotes Dak Prescott as saying, "We will come into each and every game with the plan to be balanced, and if we have to get heavy one way or another, we will." Dak just told you the answer. They're going to go with the weakness of the defense. If it's a good run defense, they're going to pass. If it's a good passing defense, they're going to run. Next week, you're probably going to see a whole lot of running out of Zeke. They're going to run his damn legs off in Pollard, too. It's going to ebb and it's going to flow with the run game. And that's the way it should be. He goes on to say that we didn't pay Zeke because he's a quality blocker, even though he is one of the best blocking running backs in the league. Isn't that a reason to pay him so that when you go up against the number one run defense, you can then rely on your passing game but not have a $90 million guy sitting on a bench? You can use him in some capacity because then he is a good blocker, so he's useful to you?
No, there's no fucking reason to pay
Mac Ingles a damn idiot. Okay, I know, Charlie, you don't want to pay him, but isn't that a reason to pay somebody, though, because he has more than one quality?
It's a way to recoup some of your money.
Exactly.
But I don't think
he can do something for you.
Yeah.
And
he had a great game, by the way. He had a great game.
Right.
Awesome
other than not running the ball. Not running the ball. I don't think that was great.
He did what he was meant to do. He did what they game planned him to do. And they
saved Dak's life several
for him
times.
To run.
Yeah. And this is why I know a lot of PFF grades. This is why I'm a little anti-PFF grades. Do you know what they had him graded as a pass blocker on their thing? A 25.
Zeke?
That's crazy.
Fucking 25. That's why they had him as his pass blocking.
That's crazy.
Let me make sure I'm right before I say that.
Watch it be like 75. You're old blind as a badass.
No, yeah, you're right. No, I was wrong. It was 23.4.
Oh, Mo. That's crazy.
What
on a scale of 25?
His pass blocking was rated at 23.4.
That's insane.
That's bullshit.
And like I said, I'm not anti-PFF. If I was, I wouldn't pay $34 fucking a month for them. But their grades are their thing, and I'm not high on their grades. I highly question. Too many times I can look at their grades and like, yeah, that makes no sense with what I'm seeing at fucking all. To give fucking Zeke a 23, and hell, you know me, I'm never going to brag on running backs, but to give him a 23 or 24.
Bring up Tony Pollard for me. What did Tony get? Because I saw a couple of, he was only in there a couple of snaps, but it wasn't. I felt like he did get his blocks.
He got a 26.6.
But it didn't look as pretty as Zeke, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Now, hey, Matt, could you elaborate on what PBWR means?
Pass blocking win rate.
Okay. Thanks, Charlie.
Okay. Hey,
me and Matt see eye to eye with a lot of shit. Me and him both little nerds.
Hey, Matt Owens, he was my PFF guy for a long time in War Room. I would always, for some reason, forgot who it was that had the account or whatever. But go and ask the admins all the time. Hey, who's the guy with PFF? Who's the guy that subscribes? Get him on here. Let him look it up. I need numbers.
Ever since the days of Emmett, he was a great pass blocker too, and he would fill in and pick up those blitzes. But I don't recall a single game where there were so many great examples of one running back picking up those blitzes. If I'm sure you guys have seen Brian Baldinger's little clips that he does. He had a clip like 7 or 8 pickups by Zeke that were just awesome. Just stuffing the hole completely, saving Dak's life.
Mm-hmm. And kind of a little bit adding on to what you guys were saying earlier with the article, it was kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if we would have kept running Zeke to fill that quota of 25 rushes per game, you would have had like 60, 70 yards. And it's like, well, why'd you keep running? It's not working, but we don't run them enough. And it's, why?
We wouldn't have scored as much, and we wouldn't have had enough time to score as much because we were doing that.
And Matt Owen brought up a good point earlier. He laughs at people who say they want to get 25 carries a game. That's going to put him at 425 carries this year. Okay,
yeah.
I hear people bitch like, well, fucking Dak can't throw it 58 times a game. Well, fucking Zeke can't run it 25 times a game either. You can't have that. Zeke will not last. By the end of the season, he's not Zeke of 2016. He's not 21 years old anymore. He's taking a fucking beating. All right. I don't give a shit how much weight he lost, and you can see his 6-pack now. I don't care. The point is, I don't want him carrying the ball 420 times this year. If we want to carry the ball 420 times between him and Pollard and somebody else, great. I don't give a shit about it. But we can't have him carrying the ball 25 times a game. That's fucking stupid.
If you're going to keep him, which it looks like they are,
they're definitely
then you need to save him. You need to save a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, get us up.
Get a couple years out of him,
with all that money you just paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't fucking run his dick in
I
the dirt.
I don't mind talking about balance, but I don't like balance per game. I like talking about balance overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like we're in a very good position, one that we weren't in for a long time, where we have enough weapons to be balanced overall to game plan for each defense individually. So I don't understand.
Balance is dictated by what they're giving.
And it started back before training camp, way back in maybe end of June, first part of July. You know, the first article that I wrote about it, run the damn ball, is stupid. It's stupid. And I actually went through the entire schedule and talked about every single defense, where they were last year, the players they kept, the players they replaced, and made a prediction about on each individual game whether we needed to primarily run or primarily pass. And I'm looking forward to the end of the season when I can revisit that article and see how right or wrong I was. If I was wrong, I'm okay with that. But I knew then that run the damn ball was stupid. And
you did a good job on that article.
That was very good.
And if they come out and run a lot this speed, that article is going to look even better. It looks great. I'm not saying it doesn't. But
it was obviously it was predictions, and there were a few of those teams in there when I said, this one I might change my prediction the week ahead. I want to watch him play a few times. I'll get back to you on it. It was definitely fun, though.
To be honest with you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. For that idiot.
Nice to you every once in a while.
I mean, it was it was an op-ed that wasn't stupid like Mac Engel. I'll be quiet, Charlie.
For that idiot writer,
hey, I was nice to you. I had to tell you shut up at least once. I hope people who watch this know me and Rocka have like a fuck you type of relationship. Because if not, they're going like, man, that dude's so fucking rude to that lady.
He is. Charlie adores me. Anyway. I'm the dumpster fire of his life.
Well, for that idiot Engel to reply that just because the way they used Zeke that game is how they're going to use him all year is just idiotic. Yeah. And obviously there's going to be plenty of games where he gets 20 carries, 22 carries. So,
well, and as someone said in the chat earlier, it's just you sometimes have to base your plan off of what the defense is. I mean, if you go up against a top, the best run defense in the past 10 years, yeah, you should pass it, especially when one of their corners goes out with a hamstring injury and it's like, we have 3 great receivers.
And
we should throw it.
And they're playing off 9 yards.
Yeah, and you have the weapons to be able to facilitate a game plan like that. You have 3 fantastic receivers and a really good tight end and 2 really good running backs. So it doesn't matter what the defense is bringing. You can counter anything they've got.
And the thing about it is, people got to understand, even if you go in with the run, like you're going to run the ball, people's got to remember a few things. One, passing is more efficient than running. That's fucking not. I told people this after the Bucs game. It's not an opinion. This is facts. It's backed by 20 years of NFL data that shows that passing the ball is just more efficient than running the ball. Doesn't mean you don't never run it. Just means it's more efficient to pass the ball. And when you have weapons like we do, we're no matter how great of a pass defense they have, we can beat it. I mean, it's just not. So we're going to pass the ball. It would be a rare case that we're going to end up a 50-50 at the end of the game. It's going to be rare. Right. We will end up 50-50 if we get a 20-point lead.
And Zeke will get 10 rushes on the last drive.
Out of it.
Right.
That's how we're going to be 50-50. If it's not like that, if it's a good game all the way through, we're going to always be pass heavy. Not fucking 58 throws, but we're going to pass the ball more, and it just makes sense. It's more efficient, and all of our weapons are in the passing game. And I include Zeke and Pollard in that statement. They are passing, maybe not much Zeke as Pollard, but they are passing weapons. I mean, they can do shit in the passing game. you know, and whatchamacallit, BJ from Stargate, I'll give him credit for saying this. A lot of the fucking passes of the night, Dak's fucking ADOT, which is average depth of target, was 6.5. That's low for him. That's
Extension
low.
of the run
That's
game.
low for the league. That's below league average.
Right.
And like BJ said, a lot of them fucking passes were just run extensions. That's all they were. It's like we can't run the ball right up in the middle against these two fat fucks in front of us. They're going to stuff it. So hey, let's do this. Let's screen pass a little bit. Let's screen to the running back. Let's screen to the wide receiver. Let's roll back out for a little dump off. That's part of the run game. That's kind of, even though it's a pass, that's kind of like, hey, this is how we're going to run the ball. These going to count as our runs. You know, so I mean, and so BJ, like I said, I give BJ credit for he's the one that said it the other night, and I fucking agreed with him 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before we move forward, I know Eddie, you had something to say. We had a couple new people join us. First of all, Mendoza is all.
What up, Mendoza?
Hey,
Thank you for
Mendoza.
tuning in.
What's up, Jeff?
Yeah, see my guy Jeff joining us. Thank you for tuning in. And then we had Nora Anderson. Thank you for joining and
Nora.
joining into the conversation. Definitely play to the weakness of the other team.
Yeah.
He knows what's up.
You might see it now. It might not be all Zeke, but you might see a 25 carry game this week, and we'll get to it because we haven't covered that yet. But you'll see, play to the weakness of the defense. Give that balance that Riker was talking about in her articles comes from what the D gives you.
Mm-hmm.
And just a note real quick. Anybody in the chat, please don't ever say this. Don't fucking tell me that it's not about how much you gain on a run. It's about the amount of tips you have. Oh, God. That is the stupidest thing you can ever say. I don't care how much you gain. Just run the ball a lot. So let me get this straight. This is what the fuck you want to do. You want to run the ball, which is so inefficient, just because, hey, you got to do it and hope in the fourth quarter it fucking works out.
It looks good on a hat or a t-shirt.
That is fucking dumb.
I think the idea.
Think about you going into your boss tomorrow or Monday morning. Say, hey, look, boss, this is what I'm going to do. For the first 6 hours, I ain't going to do shit because I'm going to try to save my energy, and I hope it's going to work out the last 2 hours, and I'm going to bust my ass. He's going to say, okay, you tried that, motherfucker, and he's going to fire you. Well, that's what fucking running the ball, and it doesn't matter how much you gain. It's just a matter of how many attempts you have. That's what you're doing.
I think the idea with them is that helps you set up the play action, but it's just not the case. Play action works regardless of how many times or how successful you are running it.
It's that, and also a lot of people say them 1 or 2 yard gains, and I've heard coaches say this too, and it fucking hurts me when they say it. Yeah, they're 1 or 2 yard gains in the first quarter. They're going to turn in 4 or 5 yard games in the fucking fourth quarter.
Yeah, where's the defense now?
But when you're fucking down 21, you ain't going to be able to do it anyways.
How many times was Tampa? You have a Tampa player down on the field, the cramps or whatever. They were dog ass tired, and all we did was throw.
Yeah, so please don't ever say it's just we got to have the attempts. Don't have much better. Yes, it does matter how much you fucking gain. That's the whole purpose in football: gaining yards and scoring points. Not how many times you throw it or how many times you run it. You want to score it. So,
Charlie, you're right, man. I tell my 12-year-old students in middle school, I'm like, do what works. Don't do something that doesn't work. If it's not working, stop doing it. If 12-year-olds can pick it up, so can we. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I just can't believe after the game other night that we took Tampa down to the last minute, 20 seconds, and forced fucking the GOAT to have to drive down there and get in field goal range to win. That's after we missed the field goal. Or actually 2, but I don't count the 60-yard field goal we missed. After we missed the field goal, after we missed the extra point, and they're bitching because we passed the ball too much. And they honestly think if we would have ran it more, that would have changed everything. I'm sorry. You're climbing on a hill, and that fucking hill is about to collapse like an avalanche and going to fucking bury you. Shut the fuck up. Take your time, walk down the fucking hill to save your fucking life because you're about to get crushed. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Get off the fucking hill and pass the fucking ball.
How many times should we have gone for it instead of punting or kicking field goals? Did y'all count anybody?
There were very few. There were very few like 4th and 2 on the 45s or anything like that to really quantify it. But in hindsight, on that 4th and 6, when we went ahead and kicked the field goal and we took the lead, there's a little part in my mind that says, you know what? You probably weren't going to stop Tom to go down to field goal range. Fuck it. Let's just go for it. We're on the road at the world champs. Let's just do it. But I get kicking it. I do.
You only said that after his third miss, too, by the way.
If it was up to Charlie, they'd go for it every time. 4th and 25, it don't matter. Sling it.
Yeah, truly, there was only one time on the night I thought we should have went for it and we didn't. But Eric's right. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll be like the high school coach. I think he works for college now. Fucking Coach Kelly. I would never. It'd be 4th and, like Gary said, 25 from our 10-yard line. I'm like, fuck it, go for it. Who gives a shit? We get the ball back quicker now. I mean, just
especially
I am joking a little bit, so nobody thinks I'm taking, but I do think you should go for it heavily. This is why they give you 4 downs to get the first down. Why give up that 4th down? I mean, you got 4 downs to pick it up, and people they easily like, let's just give it to the other team on the 4th down. I think teams should, and it shows that each year teams are starting to get a little bit more aggressive.
It's moving the meter a little more every year.
A little bit. I mean, I joke about the 4 to 25 from the 10, but you know what I mean. I want to be aggressive and go for it a lot.
But on that same drive, we completed a 3rd and 15, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not impossible.
Right. It's not impossible.
Yeah. Look, you got the chance. Look, you've got a chance to get a call. You've got a chance to get a PI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every rule is in your favor. Fucking throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's better than kicking a 60 fucking yarder with a guy that hasn't kicked a fucking, hasn't made a long ass field goal. I don't know how long.
That was the only out of all the night. That was the only play call I questioned. And I in the chat, I asked, what the fuck are we doing here? Why are we? This dude can't fucking hit a 35-yard, and we're going to try for 60, and we're going to give Tom Brady the ball at the 50-yard line. My point was, and we got lucky, or actually, you should thank the defense that they bailed us out on that, because that should have been in a 3.
Yeah.
I mean that should have been a quick reception and a field goal by them. So now that was dumb. If you're going to do that, go for it, because at least you don't get the ball where you're kicking at. You actually get the ball where it's placed at.
Yeah.
So you're giving them worse field position. So at least go for it, not punt it, and they ain't going to do nothing with the ball. They're going to probably kneel it, maybe try one good play down the field. It don't work, then we're going into the locker room. But to fucking try 50-yard, 60-yard field goal, that was dumb. I didn't agree with that at all. But other than that, I thought it was great coaching. I thought, like Eric said earlier, there were some questionable calls on defense. There's some questionable things going on defense, but I give Quinn the credit that he's got a bunch of young guys, a bunch of new guys, a bunch of guys at different positions. They're trying some things. Them guys didn't get a lot of work in the preseason.
Yeah.
And also you got to remember they worked, and when they did get work, it was against dudes that's not even in the NFL anymore or on practice squad.
Right.
Now they was going against the shit. They was going against the Super Bowl champs.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, overall, when you take everything in context, I thought we played well. I'll tell you this. I had us losing in San Diego when we did our picks. I had us starting off 0-2. I'm changing it. I will pick us to beat San Diego next week.
Hey.
And that's how much I'm impressed with what they did. So I'm impressed enough that I think, all right, I think we can go on the road, and I think we can take care of business and shit like that.
And let's go around real quick. Who's your defensive MVP for this game? Who's your best player?
Rocket, you go first.
Osa.
Eric? Am I up? Oh, okay. Give me Diggs. I felt like he shut down Evans all night.
Yeah.
How about you, Ed and Eddie? Every time I say it, I gotta say it with a redneck voice for some reason. How about you, Ed and Eddie? I don't know why I do that.
Kind of like you, Eric. I say Diggs, man. Like, he balled out. He really proved that he can be our number one corner. And yeah, even if Evans might have even been a little bit hurt, like, there was never a point where I'm like, damn, Diggs.
Evans is hurt every year. Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
and he still put up 13 touchdowns last year. He's still a beast when he's hurt.
And Diggs,
like Coop.
I did not hear a single peep from Evans, man. Diggs did his thing. I
can tell you this. My cousin, I talked to him last night. He was my cousin-in-law, actually. He has fantasy football. He has Evans. He's like, man, he didn't do shit. So, because I couldn't remember if Evans did. He said everybody else did something. He said Evans got shut down. He said he didn't give him hardly any fucking points.
Imagine
fantasy football is anything like real football, but just it showed that he didn't do much that game.
Imagine if we paid Byron Jones instead of Jalen Smith.
Imagine
what this defense would be like.
Instead of Zeke or anybody.
That hurts too much. Please.
Yeah. So for me, show me jersey here.
Let me see what we got.
I gotta go with Mike. I think his impact was felt all over the place. I think that's one of the reasons Diggs was so successful. I think that's why we shut down the run game. Even if he wasn't making the tackles, he was filling those holes. So the guys had to try and bounce it out and forget it. Michael was great, and he's going to get better as the season goes on. They gave him the green dot already.
He literally benched 2 former Pro Bowlers, man, in his first pro NFL game.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Going.
How about you, Big Bluff?
The biggest takeaway I had from that was he's going to get better, and that's scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that is scary. Yes. I agree.
Yeah, I really want to say also like Riker, but when you just look at Diggs, and that was one of my biggest concerns going into this game. What will we do about Evans? Because outside of Diggs, he just has such a big height advantage. I was surprised and happy to see that they I was happy to see that they Diggs move with Evans. They tried to run Evans in the slot a little bit to take him away from Diggs, and Diggs went right down there with him.
He chased him. It was fantastic.
Exactly.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, Evans played in the slot quite a bit in this game. That's why you saw Anthony Brown covering
on the outside getting toasted.
Antonio Brown so much, because they were playing Godwin and Brown. I mean Godwin and Brown on the outside and trying to sneak Evans inside, and didn't work. Completely shut him out. And this is a guy who has 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah.
So that's very impressive for a
13
guy
touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude's a sneaky Hall of Famer.
I started him in fantasy. Fuck. It's okay. Dak got me like 58. We're good.
Woo! So we want to talk about
my starting quarterback.
Yeah, let's switch. Same question over to offense, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I never did get the answer, assholes. I'm part of this show.
I thought we went around and you said D.
Yeah.
My fault.
Hey man, counterclockwise.
Okay. And we're back for Charlie's answer.
All right,
I'm going to go with Anthony Brown.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Stop it. He was the best Tampa Bay player. Shit.
No, I'd probably go with Diggs too. Between Diggs and Osa, that's the two. I'd overall probably go with Diggs.
This will make a good sound bite, Charles, if we just put you up here by yourself and say Anthony Brown's my best corner.
If they weren't blocking him on Twitter before, they will now.
Right. I would blast that all over Twitter.
What sucks is fucking Matt Owens said it. I had already thought so. I want to say Anthony Brown. And then Matt's like, Anthony Brown laughed about it. I'm like, well, shit, looks like I'm copying him, but I had it in my mind.
Hey, Charlie, it's not about the pass defenses. It's about the attempts.
It's about the attempts. Yes. That's exactly what it is. That's what they say. But now, what do you want to do, Eric? Flip it to the offensive side?
Yeah, same question. Let's just go to the offensive side.
This should be a fucking easy answer. It should go by real quick. Dak. That's mine.
Look, it's easy to give it to the quarterback because he fucking balled. But I'm going to give it to McGovern because he balled harder.
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Mendoza said that too, yeah.
He should be starting. And if Zach don't like getting kicked out, especially against a pass rush like next week, I'm sorry, dog. You're just going to have to, save them tears.
We'll
touch on it.
Too.
But McGovern for me, I felt like he won every snap. Again, PFF had him 3 pressures, but you saw what they gave Zeke as far as pass blocking win rate. So, for me, it was McGovern.
Well, he was completely graded on pass PFF.
Biggest test you could give a backup right guard, and he he aced that test.
Yeah. He did.
Sue and Vea, are you kidding? Yeah, he was incredible. I'm gonna go with Dak though, but McGovern's right there for sure.
Yeah.
I could be contrarian and I could say McGovern, and another guy who didn't get enough credit this game, Cooper.
Ooh, yeah.
That was mine.
Yeah.
That was mine.
But honestly, it's got to be Dak. I mean, outside of that drop that what's it called? Outside of that drop that CD had, dude could have played literally a perfect game, and that might have been one of the best games I've ever seen Dak play as a pro. Against a tough run defense where you have to throw, and at least 5 of those throws he was going to get blasted. He stood in, took it like a man, and completed the pass. And I'm like, Dak is amazing here.
What if I told you
he got blasted a few times too?
What if I told you he had 3 games just like that last year?
Yeah, I believe it. The defense didn't allow us to win it, but I believe it.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And let me say this. just to kind of piggyback on Coop, because Dak, amazing game. But going back and watching that game, the first quarter, it looked like him and CeeDee Lamb were playing pitch and catch.
Gallup,
Yeah.
I felt like Gallup had 4 catches real quick.
Right.
And that wasn't big yardage, but I felt like, man, Gallup's going to have a game.
And then at some point, Lamb had those 2 drops, and you can see it in his face that his confidence was dipping a little bit. But Dak was still trying to go to him. And that's when CeeDee Lamb, second quarter, he just kicked it in, and it was just Lamb. It was just Coop, back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I think in the first quarter, Lamb may have had 9 targets, 6 catches,
3 drops.
3 of those are dropped.
Mm-hmm.
But then to look at the end of the game and see Coop had 13 catches, he basically did all his work in 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Because the first quarter, it was all Lamb, and Coop kind of helped keep the offense up and get them back going after we had a couple of stalls with Lamb. So very impressive by Coop.
The true professional, man.
And it was a quiet 13 for 139
Yeah.
touchdowns.
Yeah. I wish we could marry Schultz and Jarwin together.
Yeah.
Can we just make one tight end that could do it all?
Is there really much of a difference between the two, though? Unless
I
we're
think-
playing the Giants, then it's Jarwin. But yeah,
Well, Jarwin's he's a little shakier. He's got a little more move than
Little wiggle.
Schultz. Yeah, a little wiggle. Good word. He's gonna give you a better yards after the catch. He's better in space. But man, I mean, don't take anything away from Schultz. He played a good game.
Nora, you nailed it. The way Dak hung in there, and coming off that injury, that's just incredible. The guy
A
was
lot
an
of people
absolute
around his
rock.
feet, and he didn't care. He didn't care.
Yeah.
no, dude, just like I
Imagine
said,
that not playing in preseason and being in sync.
Oh God.
That's so.
you should post
That is
that.
so
on
rare
know
that happens.
You're right, Charlie, and I don't ever want to hear another word about Dak not being able to knock the rust off.
It's not just Dak; it's any quarterback. Fucking goddamn Rodgers don't play preseason. The quarterback we're facing next week, he didn't play no preseason.
Mahomes played a driver too.
Yeah, it does. Is it okay? I mean, does it hurt them if they play? No, but it's not a necessity. You don't. I mean, they act like Dak didn't throw in. I mean, the dude has a fucking football field in his backyard.
Right.
That he threw it. All
Everybody came out and got
And I understand
catches
there's
and reps.
nobody. I understand there's nobody at his feet, and there ain't. I get all that shit. He's a
No
goddamn
pads.
football player. Been playing football since he was 8. I think he can handle it.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
Bring
he looked
up-
bad. I mean, I
Bring
can't-
up Pat Campbell's.
I was just about to say, yeah, Pat Campbell, thank you for joining.
That's a
wherever
good
you are,
comment.
make sure you
Hey, Pat
subscribe
Campbell's
to
in
all
here?
of our
Why
channels
can't I
as
get my
well.
shit up here?
Everybody on YouTube.
That's
Great
my best
question.
friend.
though.
Oh,
This
No,
is another one I went
that-
back and forth about on social media quite a bit this week.
Yeah, I posted the
Only against
rule.
the
Yeah.
Cowboys is that rule changed. I
Thanks
swear to
for-
God, it's always something like that. It's only against the Cowboys. when
Only
that
against
rule like
Dallas.
that changes.
The cop out was that he wasn't around anybody.
Oh,
So the rule, I should have uploaded it to the deal here, but the rule basically states, any celebration on the field or in the end zone or any demonstration
Right.
is the verbiage, or when you're dealing with a ref or another player in a confrontation, something like that, can you not remove your helmet? Well, he was about 10 yards from everybody in any direction, and he kind of just slammed it on the ground, said something, and that was it, walked away. But it's clearly a demonstration.
Exactly.
He was frustrated. He missed the damn ball, right? It was going to be a pick. I can't remember what exactly happened. I know he made the play and was frustrated that he didn't, come away. I think it was a pick, should have been a pick or something like that.
Yeah.
And he actually saved it from being a pick because I think the safety behind him had it, it would have
Yeah, it would've
been
been a
in
pick
the
six.
basket. Right. So I think he was just frustrated. That's clearly a demonstration. And I want to say that it happened again later on. It might have been Devin White or somebody else, but they took off the damn helmet and they were much closer to others. So I didn't like it. You don't want to depend on calls like that, but
Me and Marcus posted about the same time in our chat, like almost identical. Because Robin, I saw him like that's it's a penalty that I think is bullshit. I don't like the penalty,
Right.
But it is a rule,
It
and
is.
it should have been called. I mean, but I think him not being next because I've seen it before. I've never seen nobody throw their helmet like that, but I've seen players take their helmet off, and I'm thinking, hey, they should get a flag for that, and they don't get a flag for it.
Now,
This
sometimes
time
if
the
it's an
difference-
equipment issue or something, like an earpiece pops out or
Well, I'm
something like
talking
that,
about
I
they
get
just
it.
had-
But this
you know,
is
yellow.
completely different.
And I think, well, why ain't that a flag? I think a lot of times it's kind of like the rule. As long as they're not fucking just yelling at somebody or. But
if it's not directed at somebody,
the fucking helmet on the ground, like that was to me that was demonstrating frustration. Whatever the fuck you want to say it was, it should have been a flag.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, y'all know where that rule originated from?
Emmett Smith,
22.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay,
Pat said
Charlie.
it. Pat said it in the chat. Pat beat us to it.
That's because we're old, dude.
Old ass.
And the worst thing about it too is it's one of those calls that's going to be like sadly apologized for like a day or two afterwards. Like, oh well,
Right.
we were
They'll
supposed
get a
to
letter.
do it, but we didn't. I'm sorry. And
That
nothing
the
against
PI.
the ref for missing that, but I mean, well, what about us?
Yeah.
Anyways,
about the OPI?
Pat Campbell, he's been my best friend since I was 11 years old. We've known each other. So see, Rocky,
I'm sorry, Pat.
you can ask him, I'm an asshole, and he'll tell you no. Charlie's not an asshole. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't answer that fucking question, Pat.
Yeah. But Pat's been on it with the questions and comments, though. So thank you for joining us, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah. And the league owes Dwayne Rudd an apology, too. That reference may go over you guys' head.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Dwayne Rudd's a guy from my hometown. He played linebacker for Cleveland. It was a pivotal game where
oh yes, I remember that shit, dude.
Yeah. He made a big play and he took his helmet off and it was like 3rd and 20.
Negated it. Automatic
first down. They
Mm-hmm.
kicked the field goal and won the game.
Yeah.
Was that against Pittsburgh?
It was. Cleveland against
Oh.
Pittsburgh, yeah. Yeah, it's Dwayne Rudd from my hometown.
I forgot all about that, Marcus.
That's been a running joke in my hometown for 20 years.
So you don't like to lean on those calls as you know, lay all the blame on shit like that, but that extends the drive there. We'd more than likely score.
First and goal.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't want to lean on that type of shit, but again, you know, you kind of do because it could have been completely different. That and the OPI were two egregious calls that you know, I feel like there needs to be more consistency there.
But dude, it's not asking a lot to ask the paid millionaire referees, the best of the best for football, to just do their job. You know, I mean, it's really not.
No.
I'd like to see you be able to challenge a non-call for PI.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, can we get it back on the board and let's look at it again? You know, let's
we're
let
going to
New
do a
York
whole
decide.
video about this because I've been saying this for years. Judgment calls are not reviewable, and that's effing retarded. Okay, can't you judge something better if it's in slow motion from multiple angles? You absolutely should be able to throw the flag on those calls as well. And people's argument that will extend the game is bullshit because you're not going to increase the number of challenges. All right, you can still have them.
Yeah,
I'll just grab another beer, and that's the other thing too. Is if I'm wrong, okay, I burn a timeout, fair enough. But it's like if we see something that the refs don't, why can't we call them out on what they missed?
Hey, Mike McCarthy has a great record on challenges.
Actually, the pass interference rules last year, did anybody get any overturned?
No,
I thought it was a very low rate.
The percentage was so low because they was told it has to be egregious.
They were trying to protect the refs on top of that.
So there was no reason to have that in there, so they just demolished the whole rule.
I'm a big baseball fan, and they protect the fuck out of these refs, man. And umpires in baseball.
That's why
basketball.
That's why I don't think it would work because I think it will go back to where it would just have to be a fucking.
It has to go back to the rules committee and be addressed in those meetings. And look, this is what we're going to emphasize. We're not going to let this slip. It's not, you know. And I don't like the fucking excuse of, well, it was in the heat of the moment. Let these guys play. I don't like that shit because it could be fucking argued the exact opposite way. Like, yeah, you're arguing for one team. Let them go. Let them play. Let the hands fly. Whatever. It's a pivotal moment in the game. Blah blah blah. That's not a good excuse for me because you're taking that away from the other team. Whoever is against that rule. Just be consistent. Pick one or the other.
Right. And what they also need to do is have the refs have to sit there and face the media after the game, just like the fucking coaches and players.
Yeah, hold them accountable. I bet they start.
You got to sit there and explain why, and it's embarrassing. We get it.
Yeah.
Player drops a game-winning touchdown. You know what? He's got to sit there like a man and take the questions and answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't the refs? That kills me.
I agree with that. I do think the refs should have to do media right after the game.
You've got 20 fucking million cameras in the complex. Use them. I don't know. People argue that you slow down the game with these challenges and stuff. That's bullshit. It's not that much difference. You're talking an extra 5-10 minutes a game. Fuck, I got time. I ain't doing shit.
I'd rather be right.
And you would think the NFL would want that because they could run more commercials, so that's just more revenue.
I was just about to say
Those are expensive ass commercials. Another
Right.
5 minutes worth of commercials is millions of dollars.
I'm
it
calling
right
Roger right now. I'm on hold.
Yeah, they already put 15 commercial timeouts a game anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, but I will say this: each fan base does this, and I want to make this clear. There are bad and non-calls on both sides of the fucking ball.
Yeah.
There was at least 4 calls against Tampa Bay. 1, 2 that they got called. And I'm like, yeah, that's a little fucking ticky-tacky. I'll take it because it was against my team and it helped benefited it. And there was 2 non-calls that should have been called that they didn't get. So
I felt like we had a couple of hands to Tom's face a couple of times. It should have been called.
There was a few things that they I mean, as a fan, not just for the Cowboys, a Jaguar fan, New York Jet fan, we look at it as fucking it's all bad against us. But if you go back and you watch it with open eyes, you'll see they fuck up on both sides of the ball. I mean, it's and I honestly I'll defend them a little bit. I don't think it's bad as people think. That job ain't easy. The NFL adds new rules to them motherfuckers every year. Do you know
Every
how many
year it gets
goddamn
changed.
rules they got to fucking keep up with? I mean, ticky-tacky shit, and they got to watch everything going on. These motherfuckers who run 4 3s and 4 4s and hit like a fucking freight train, and they're trying to keep up with all this shit, and they're doing it on the field for live game action, and we get the fucking benefit of fucking 99 replays from a fucking 99 cameras and fucking zoom in on the fucking toe that fucking big to see
Slow
if he was
down to
in bounds.
1/10 of a second.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so I think overall they do a good job. It's a human part of the fucking game that just, you know, sometimes they're going to fuck up. That's why they got replay. But
we have the technology to help them do better.
That's what I'm saying. We do need to extend some shit on replay and to help them out a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, college football is better at it, and so is what was the league that just tanked last year?
The
XFL or whatever. They had a fucking great replay system. They could you could hear them talking in New York, how they came up with a decision, all that shit. You know what? I heard somebody on it, and I don't know where I heard it from, but if he made a great point. If the NFL doesn't come up with the idea, they're super reluctant, and it takes a very long time to get it passed.
Right.
Yeah,
regardless of it, because they want it to be their fucking idea. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If Major League Baseball can even have the conversation of having the fucking electronic strike zone and an electronic umpire, NFL can step up and do some shit. You know what I mean?
All true. One thing I have noticed over the years, Charlie, you're really old, so you'll probably notice this too. The age of the refs has gotten younger over the years, over the decades. Because there used to be some old mother out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Back in the 90s,
a lot younger.
Back in the 80s, 90s when I used to watch it, dude, there was a motherfucker like 70 fucking years old. Like, I mean, they could hardly run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they was refereeing games, so they have calmed down a little bit on that shit.
It's true.
Yeah. I love Matt O's comment about the GoPros on the hats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would pay for a ref's view to be able to see how they see.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Then why not? It's $1 billion industry. You might as well.
Exactly. I mean, they give us the all 22. They give us all these other angles. Why not give us from the referee's perspective?
But out of all the ideals we mentioned, I agree with Ed about they need to make them do media after the game.
Yeah,
make them answer the question. Yeah. If you're gonna make Dak Prescott answer why you throw an interception, what was your decision making? Or Mike McCarthy, why did you go forward on 4th and 33? You know, you should. They'll never. They should answer why the fuck did you not see his fucking foot clearly be in bounds?
Maybe they should, but they'll never do something like that.
They'll never do it.
If you nip it in the bud in the first place, put their conversation of these replays up on the big screen and let everybody see it, that shit'll go away.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
if they can get held accountable, if you can hear what the fuck they're saying and their thought process on how they came up with that call, then they'll get plenty of backlash. They won't have to answer any questions and do all that, but they'll see their face on national television looking stupid.
And you know what? They accidentally almost did that earlier in the game.
Oh, homeboy almost said some shit, didn't he?
They literally had the refs mic'd up and they were talking. So why did you call that? Well, when he was going over there, he said a little bit of, and as soon as they started going, they cut the mic off. I'm like, why can't you continue it? Why can't we hear what they're saying? I mean,
I feel like it was going to be some backhanded bullshit. It sounded like we're just going to call it this. Let's just say this.
Why don't we just and they cut it?
Like
and
what?
Does they have to hide? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you want transparency. This is a league about letting everyone know what it's all about. Why not? What do they have to lose?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Comment about the lunatic. Yeah. you got these old retired guys who used to be former line judges saying it's a wrong call.
I will say this. Carlos Watkins should have been ejected from the game. He threw a punch
Yeah,
at,
he did.
at old boy, and he should have been
I don't
kicked out of the
know
game,
why.
and they kept him there. So you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just keep it consistent. You know,
Yeah.
even if it screws our team over in the end, if we got consistently screwed because we did wrong, I'd rather that happen than just refs being all over the place.
I don't like makeup calls.
Mhm.
I don't like when you're trying to make up for a bad call earlier on one team, and you're trying to try to
Basketball does that
Yeah,
horribly.
big time.
No.
I don't like that
Basketball
shit.
does
Just be
that shit so
consistent.
bad.
Yeah.
And that rule about the coaches facing after the game, baseball and basketball should do that too.
Oh,
Same thing.
That'll never happen, though.
I want a different coach if that's the case.
And we got Jack Meeker in the chat. He's 53. We got another old head in here.
Hey, easy.
There we go, buddy.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
We got
and-
a lot of wise people in here right now.
Yeah, before we move on, guys, I only see 2 likes up here. So everybody who's watching, make sure you hit that like button.
Real
if you
quick,
haven't
real
done so
quick.
already. Make sure you share as well. And also make sure you subscribe to everybody's channel because we got a lot of people who put up a lot of great information. And these are all people that you guys should be following. And everybody's social media is pretty much
That's right.
in the
Hit
in
the
their name.
subscribe and make sure to click that notification bell because you can't troll Charlie if you don't know when he's on. Also, guys, you're going to want to be subscribed to Dallas Cowboys Uncensored because come mid-October, it's the Rika Moves the Chains show.
Let's
It's
go.
going to be
Oh, wow.
complete
Let's
anarchy,
go.
start to finish. We're talking about iced coffee. We're going to talk about lipstick. We'll probably mention some football.
No,
I don't know.
no, fuck no.
That is
not gonna
great.
I'm
So-
kind. I don't know. I'm not that into football, but we might talk about it. We'll see what happens.
So, Riker, are you going to be solo on that show and bring in guests, or is it going to be you and one of these other guys?
It'll be me and Charlie, unless he's tired, and then I'll be
I'm
looking
sure
for
he'll
some
have
guests.
some kind of
to-
excuse.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie will be doing this show, the show with Eric, and then the show with me. So I have a feeling there's going to be some nights when he wants a break. So I'll be leaning in. I'll probably have Matt Owen swing by, definitely
Okay.
Bluff, Ed and Eddie, a few other people. So yeah, you guys just look for DMs for me because I'll be hollering.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
doing a
have
show.
a
Three out of 4
Right on
nights I'm
in.
doing a show, and 2 of them was with fucking Rika. So I'm going to need a break.
do you have a set night you're going to do that in?
There will be a set night and time, but I have not decided what that's going to be yet. That'll be coming soon. I'm going to
Okay.
watch the next few weeks, other content creators, other shows. I'm kind of writing down when everybody's going, when their nights are. I want to try not to conflict with too many people. It'll be impossible not to conflict at
90%
all.
of people will
Almost.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try my best to kind of carve out a slot where there's not too much traffic and then stay consistent. But in the next few weeks, I'll have something out to let you guys know nights and times.
It won't be on Tuesdays. We know that.
If it means Charlie won't be on the show, then it might be on Tuesday.
It's going to be kind of hard to stream 2 shows at one time on Tuesday.
Text got it clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff said Charlie should definitely do a makeup show.
Bro,
Yeah,
where you're like one of those old, the do your makeup while you talk about a crime story or something. My girl loves them shits. You'd be
I
great.
love
dude.
those.
I ain't doing no fucking makeup show.
Mhm. Reading ghost stories while I do my makeup.
Got me fucked up for somebody else.
Here you go.
They already got the title too, Charlie.
Mr. Effing Geniality.
I kind of like that. That's not bad.
That's great.
That's a good name right there.
All right,
Anything
guys.
else you guys want to touch on as far as the Tampa Bay game? Or do you feel like we can move on to LA? Or Marcus, did you have your little game set up where we
I don't have mine set up
Okay,
yet.
okay.
I'm still
Okay.
working on it. I just
Gotcha.
thought of one for Charlie, and we can come back there in about a week or so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
guys, make sure
Marcus,
you
you
tune
ain't
back
gonna be
in.
here next week, are you? You're
No,
gonna be gone, right?
no, I won't be here next week. I got
Okay.
a event. I'll try to log in if I can, but if I do, I'll be sitting in my car
Okay.
while they're cutting the cake or something like that.
In the coming weeks, we'll have a new game on that Marcus came up with called Charlie's 4-letter word. So you guys will want to be in the chat and play along with us.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Should be a good time.
Everybody wants to make fucking
All
fun of
right.
me, man. I feel so abused over here.
You like it.
I love it. I love it.
So,
All right,
great point here
story.
about. I know Matt's joking, but question about the game. Did you guys have a problem with Tony Pollard amount of attempts in relation to Zeke's?
Absolutely not. I thought he should have got more. He averaged more per carry.
did.
Looks way more explosive, more decisive, getting upfield, and he breaks tackles. I didn't see any of that from Zeke.
What about you, Mark?
I'll reserve judgment a little bit since there just wasn't a lot to judge off carries.
Yeah.
But if I'm going off the past couple of years, yeah, Tony Pollard needs to get more carries. I'm not saying more carries than Zeke, but he needs to get more carries. He is more explosive. I know Zeke lost a lot of weight and he looks all sexy with the 6-pack now. But I mean, I gotta see it in the game. But yeah, overall, I think Pollard should get more carries. Not more carries than Zeke, just more carries overall.
Okay.
I mean, he is more explosive. He does make people miss. He doesn't make people miss like Zeke does. Zeke's going to truck you. Pollard ain't going to truck you. There was even like a little thing about an interview or something. I can't remember. That's not his style. He's going to make you miss in other ways, you know. But
every video we saw of Zeke this offseason was him dodging trash cans left and right laterally, and I thought then, like I do now, that's not your game, bro. Stop doing that shit. Get upfield.
The trash cans were green. I thought he was just getting ready for Philly.
Could have been.
Yeah, don't have to be green.
I'm not impressed with trash can fucking jump cuts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, follow-up question on that one. Were you guys happy to see them running so much 21 personnel with 2 running backs? Both of them in the backfield, Pollard lined up wide, receiver.
Been calling for that for a while. I like that.
I like to see it. I don't like to see it against Tampa. I thought that was a waste. You're just bringing more people into the box. I mean, it worked in a couple of plays, but I think it was more like the reverse trick play bullshit. You know, screens. I don't know. I like the concept. I don't like it against Tampa.
Okay.
Kind of like that. I like the concept a lot too, just because it throws the defense off. You know, you can hit them with so many different looks, and you can hit them with Zeke running up the gut as a fullback. Admittedly, not against the best run defense in the past 10 years, but most other teams, that's going to work. And, you know, if you can just hit them with that many other counter punches, I think it's a great look.
Yeah. I'm with Derek. I liked it. Against any other team, if your game plan was to let Dak throw it that much, then no, don't fucking run 21. But if you go into a game plan that you're going to run, you're going to try to be balanced, and to me, balance is 60-40, not 50-50, then yeah, that'll work because they won't know what you're doing. But when you're throwing as much of the night like they did, I don't think it's going to work. I'd rather have 11 personnel. I'd rather have a receiver out there than another running back.
Yeah. You can do so much for it.
Personnel at all.
You can do so much. Counters inside, play action, option. You can have two little bubble screens if you want to. But I think, again, against Tampa Bay, you got Levante David and Devin White out there. It's just not a good team to fucking try that shit.
Yeah.
Those linebackers can run with our backs.
But it does show me they're going to use it more. If they're going to use it against Tampa, with that game plan, I think they're going to use it more throughout the year.
I'd have kept it in the bag, but
but I'm okay with it. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Just like Eric said, against another team, I'll be okay with it.
So the lunatic asked another follow-up question about that. A lot of running back questions. How do you balance the 20 and 21?
Yeah, Jeffrey, that's not funny, dude.
That's another great name.
Pretty funny.
It's a lot of good names coming up in the comments, Charlie.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna do your intro video. You're gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be so funny.
Reading Rainbow with Charlie. So I guess phrasing this question, how do you guys think going forward the balance should be in terms of their touches? Because it was pretty much 60-40, 65-35 week 1. And of course the last 2 years it's probably been 90-10. What do you guys think we should go forward with Pollard and Zeke in terms of touches?
Oh, okay. I'm thinking 20 and 21 personnel. I'm like, what?
Oh, I was thinking the positions, but
Position,
Yeah.
the numbers, players' numbers, right? Zeke and Pollard.
Well,
Yeah.
Delunatic, clarify that in the comments. Are you talking about 20 and 21 personnel or the players? Because I didn't even think about that, Eric. That's a good point.
That threw me off at first.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about the players.
Yeah, I assumed it was Zeke and Pollard.
I think it is too.
Okay. I mean, it could be 20 personnel now. We did see a little bit of that.
Yeah, no, it could. I didn't think about that till Eric brought it up.
And you find your balance. Look, it's going to be a lot easier. Let's say it is personnel. It'll be a lot easier with Gallup missing a few weeks.
Yeah.
The players,
because you can pull one of those wide receivers off the field. You know what I mean? But if you're saying the players, I like with running backs, it's weird because a lot of them will tell you they need a pocket, they need a series or two to kind of get in the pocket, and they want to stay in it, blah blah blah. But with those two, I think they're interchangeable. If you want to go series, every other series, something like that, I wouldn't be against it at all. As soon as Zeke is tired, hey man, you need a breather. Get Pollard, let him run in, let him finish the series, whatever. I don't think you should have a pinch count for either. I think you just think of that as a position and not a player.
Right, especially if Pollard can keep his pass blocking up.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I'm still on Team Zeke. Big time. I do think he's going to have a big bounce back year. I think he's going to be I would prefer him be the main man and let Pollard maybe get 25% of the carries.
Hey, and Matt Owen in the comments, 17 to 20 for Zeke and 12 to 10 for Pollard. I think that's right about correct.
The key word there is touches, right? Not carries.
Yeah. Touches in general. And I agree. And there will be some games where Zeke gets 25 to 30 just because the run game is working. He's in his zone. And, I think we should do the same with Pollard. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's a Zeke loyalty, but there are some games where Pollard's just ripping off like 8 yards a carry, and it looks like, he's just one run away from breaking it, and we just haul him out. And I think he's capable. If you really want to give him 20 to 25 in a game where he's on fire, just go with it. I think he can be that kind of back.
He's just more slippery, man. He gets a lot of yards after contact, or at least more than Zeke, because of his running style. Where Zeke is trying to get that full brunt force entire hit into it, and it just causes you to get wrapped up and taken down. Pollard is trying to go with that contact. He's just bouncing off of it and keeping that balance going forward, right? So he's falling forward. He's getting 2-3 extra yards on where Zeke is just getting wrapped up and taken down. That's just what I see.
Rocco, what do you think? Looks like you're looking at your notes over there in the corner.
Yeah, I was.
I sent her a picture.
I like where.
Please don't share that picture, Rocco.
I like where Matt Owen is 17 to 20, 10 to 12. I think you also need to take into account what defense you're facing, because there are going to be times when you're going to want to incorporate Tony Pollard a little bit in the air. So maybe he's not going to have as many touches in the run game because you're also going to be using him as a wide receiver.
Yeah, put him in the slot.
That may increase then Zeke's touches a little bit and take that out of balance. But yeah, I'm right in there, 17 to 20 for Zeke, 10 to 12. There's going to be a few games down the road where I expect us to really, really run the ball just a whole lot. I was going through because I've got my little book where I write down like everything. I'm looking at, let's see, New England Patriots, 26th against the run, 8th against the pass. We're going to want to run hard that game. Those numbers for Zeke are probably going to be a little bit higher. Cardinals, same thing. Then you've got weeks like against the Raiders, who are just a bad defense all around across the board, where you're really you can just take that playbook and go completely, you can almost balance it out, in what they were saying. It's almost a 50-50 split in weeks like that. You may want to rely on Pollard a little bit more as a receiver and let Zeke do his thing. It's going to be easy to run that ball. He's not going to get a lot of resistance there, so the carries are going to be easier on him physically.
Who would
He's
you
gotta be
rather
able
have
to
in the
handle.
slot now that Gallup is down and you're probably going to slide Lamb outside, right? I mean, he'll still see some snaps inside, but
Good question.
you're probably going to put him out at the X where Gallup was. So who would you rather have in the slot, number one or Tony Pollard?
Wilson.
You'd rather have Wilson
Yeah.
in the slot.
Yeah.
See, I'd go TP.
And you can mix it up a little bit.
I think Wilson's highly underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me.
I really like Cedric Wilson a lot.
He's actually a wide receiver. I mean,
hmm
I mean, I know what Pollard did in college, but I mean, and I'm a Pollard fan.
Yeah.
I mean, because I even said about the touches, I haven't got the answer yet, but I'll skip everybody real quick. But yeah, the 17 to 20 touches. If you're going touches, I think it should be more. If you're going straight runs, I don't know. I like to see Zeke between 16 and 18 runs a game, and Pollard 12 to 14.
I like 60-40 better than 70-30.
That's why I say if you go in touches overall, I think you should actually raise Pollard's touches up because I think he's better out of the backfield as a pass catcher than Zeke is. So
And not only
I still
will
don't want him in a slot over Wilson.
right, well, it'll keep Zeke fresh, but I also think that might light a little more fire under Zeke too. He's not going to like that, so that's okay.
You can already tell he heard the noise last offseason from the fans, from everywhere. He heard it. He heard it, right?
He started fucking jump cutting trash cans.
He started jump cutting trash cans because Pollard is nipping at the heels here. So I think he already took it personal. And really, with the one mental mistake there on that outside little option play from Dak, I think he had a pretty good game. Now they weren't giving him much in the run game, but again, everything they asked him to do, he did okay. So can't get too down on him.
Yeah.
I agree, Matt, by the way, in the comment, the whole need more wheel routes. Yeah, a guy like Pollard on most NFL linebackers.
Double move, he's gone.
Exactly, a double move or a wheel route. Oh, they would just eat him up. Dude, I remember years ago, Zeke, he won us the game in Detroit because he had kind of like
that was a real route. That was a real route. Yep, I remember that too. Right at the sidelines.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, no, overall, I mean, I don't know. If you're going percentages, I'll probably with Eric 60-40. I might even drop it 55-45. I just think you should. I mean, Zeke's been in the NFL now for a while. Running backs, we get too fascinated with players.
Are we keeping TP next year?
And we just keep fucking thinking that fucking Zeke is going to have the 2016 year. He's probably just not. I mean, that's just kind of how running backs do. Not everybody's like Emmitt Smith and just fucking dominates for long, or Adrian Peterson. Not everybody's built that way. So his decline in the last 3 years, and yes, he has declined. Lower his carries, just to keep him fresh, and I still think he's a good back. I'm not knocking him for it. I still think he's a good back, but I think you need to give Pollard a little bit more touches.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good.
I'll say this, Eric, because I know the Pollard family a little bit. If they make him a decent offer, like Naheem Hines just signed a $6 million a year contract with the Colts.
Yeah.
His whole family is Cowboys fans, like all of them. And the way he grew up, he's the type of kid where he's a humble kid. He's not trying to be the next big thing. And I think he really likes it in Dallas. I know his family loves him there.
Yeah.
If they make him a reasonable offer, $4 to $6 million, I think he stays.
I hope he does. That'd be nice if he
That would be nice.
That.
Well, how much is that? That's what, $20 million a year at the running back position, though.
Roughly.
Man, that's tough to swallow.
That is tough to swallow.
Yeah.
How about Zeke take a cut? Think it'll happen?
No, not next
Especially with the workload changing. What if it does go 60-40 on the carries or on the touches?
They just restructured Zeke, so he has full control over his destiny for the next 2 years.
Zeke is a lot like Jalen. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
He's kind of set in there.
Not
I think
this year.
Jalen will be going, but I think Zeke has another year. I think he'll play through 2022 before they would even think about not having him on.
I don't think Zeke's gone anytime soon, to be honest with you. At least 2-3 years. Right. Jalen, we can get out of Jalen tomorrow. I mean,
plus he was a 4th pick overall, and Jerry. I mean that's just not how he fucking rolls.
And he sells a lot of jerseys. It's the brand. So,
yeah, Pollard's he's quiet assassin.
Yeah.
And it's funny too when you think about Zeke. Like, even though he's only been here for what is this 6th year now? Like, it feels like he's been here for like forever. And with everything he's been through, like you think about those legal cases, league's leading rusher, his friendship with Dak. Like, I think a lot of that ties into that whole like why he would stay here longer, even if like he should.
The locker room loves him. The locker room does love him. The fans love him. I love him. I'm not a big running backs guy. Everybody knows
Joneses
that.
love him.
Yeah, I love his attitude, his personality. He always has a fucking smile on his face. Now I don't like the eating shit. I fucking can't stand that. But I do like I like everything about him. So he's a likable guy. It's hard not to like Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
He, like I said, he's a playful guy. And, like, he don't take anything seriously, not in a bad way. Just enjoys life, and you're like, fuck it, let's do this. So he's a good dude. I think he's a real good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, when you get a chance, you got to go through the comments because they're giving you a lot of.
You got a bunch of
options,
bro.
It's too many to put on the screen right now.
Rolling, y'all.
Charlie, shut the fuck up. I like that.
These will make great t-shirts too, Charlie.
That's probably the best one I've seen right there from Jeffrey. Charlie, shut the fuck ups.
These will make good shirts too.
Yeah, I know they will. You know what?
Or dipshit.
Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, fuck you, dipshits.
Yeah. Eric, just get Charlie's head with a speech bubble, and we'll just fill him in every week. Put him on a shirt.
Charlie, fuck around.
Get it. Yeah. Hey, thanks, y'all, man. This is
fucking
awesome.
get it with Charlie.
I see we had Milton Green sneak in the comments. Thank you for joining us.
Jeff, that's a great point. During Hard Knocks, Zeke helped the young guys. You can see the coaching. You can see it on the sidelines in the preseason games with Hardy and Knox and all them cats. So
yeah, he's a good.
See Hardy on the sideline.
Hi, Russ.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and it's hard to cut guys. I mean, he's a good locker room guy. The only problem with Zeke, and it's not a problem with Zeke, it's his contract. It's a problem with Jerry Jones. Zeke's a good running back. He's a good dude. He's a good locker room guy. I think he's a good leader. I think he's all of that. He just got paid too much, and that's not his fault because somebody.
Well, the Joneses folded, which they don't do very often. They folded.
Yeah, if somebody fucking offered something to me, $13 million. Hell, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to say no. It's not Zeke's responsibility. Well, you know what? I'm a running back. I don't deserve that much. Give me 5, and I'll take it.
Being as close as he is to Dak, how does Dak not in his ear during that contract negotiation? How many games do you think Zeke misses before Dak's like, "Hey, bro, suck it up, dog. Another year you'll get paid."
I don't think he misses. I don't think it will change anything for 2 reasons. One reason is I don't think it was going to change us on the field.
I didn't think so either.
I don't think it's going. And 2, Dak's going to stay out of his business. I don't think Dak would tell him anything. Just, hey, come in when you can, man.
Well, and start getting hit and not running the damn ball and all that.
I mean,
they wouldn't have had that fucking year.
I wonder if Troy Aikman had a conversation with Emmitt Smith in 1993. I doubt.
Well, 93 was a different era.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just like I don't think they. It's kind of like, hey, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And Dak actually said that in an interview one time where he's like, "Yeah, hey, look, he's getting his money. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's my boy. Just whatever they decide in the higher ups in the office, that's what they do. I'm just here to play football."
Well, the reason they do that is because Dak knew he's about to be on contract. He didn't want Zeke to say anything. Like, hey, you shut the fuck up.
They have an obligation to the other players in the league, right? Their respective positions to get as much money.
I ain't got no problem with Zeke getting his money. I got.
It was just so early.
Yeah. Thank you, Chanda.
Thank you, Shannon.
Hey,
love it.
Your friend,
that's my number 1 girl.
Yeah, that's the one going to the Eagles game with you.
Okay.
That's the girl going to the Eagles game with you, right?
Yeah, she's been learning about the football. She's been watching Hard Knocks. She was like coming off of her couch Thursday night, dying, texted me on the phone.
Yes. Going to that Eagles game, make sure you bring that mace.
Yeah. Bear spray.
Y'all want to move to the San Diego game?
Yep.
Yeah, we're almost to the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Can we start with this one first?
There were a bunch of comments, and we had so many great comments. Thank you guys for all the great comments. I can't even go back to the top to see some of them, some of the first ones. But when I first came in, there were a lot of comments about the Lyle Collins situation.
Oh, let's speak on that too.
Yeah, you guys know way more about that than I do. So kind of let us know where you guys think we are in terms of the suspension and why he got suspended.
He missed his appointment for the test. He didn't go.
According to the little chart that they give out in the CBA, he had to have missed several for this to happen.
Yeah.
It'll all come out eventually. It might be
2020. I know that it was from this year. It was 2020.
It might be too harsh of a thing. It's why NFLPA is going to blow him up anyways, regardless. This appeal process is going to happen anyways.
Right.
Yeah, it already happened.
And they're saying that the NFL was just overly anxious to get try to take everything they possibly could and make this the harshest thing possible for him. But there had to be multiple things gone wrong here for him to get that type of suspension. This isn't just like out of the blue, I missed one, or I didn't cooperate one time or something. This has to be a multiple violation deal for him to get such an egregious punishment.
Yeah, from what I understand, it happened in 2020, and they've already appealed it, and they lost. But supposedly they're going to appeal it again because they're not happy with how the appeal process went. So it was from last year, not this year. So that meant it was from a year he didn't even play. You know,
I read several articles about that
time served.
Well, I question this: if it's from last year, he was hurt. All right, exactly. And when you're hurt, you start taking, steroids and antibiotics, stuff like that. It does help you heal. Trust me, I know this for a fact. Okay, so my thing is the only thing you get suspended for anymore is PEDs, and I got to wonder, was he trying to
come back from the hip?
Yeah, was he on something? He was trying, and I'm not accusing him of anything, and I don't even think it's a bad thing. Steroids on their doctor's care, I don't think it's a bad thing. Hell, I'm on them under doctor's care, so I don't have an issue with it. But I think that's what happened. That could have what happened. Since it was from 2020, he wasn't playing. He was hurt with the hip. I just got to wonder, was he taking something, trying to get his hip to heal and work through it and shit?
See, I wondered about that, Charlie, because his representatives, his agent, apparently gave some quotes. I read several articles today talking about how the tests that he missed them, and he had reasons for missing them. They should have been excused. It's not like he just didn't show up. There were valid reasons why he didn't go to take his test. And so I wondered, since it was 2020, did this happen in and around the time of the hip surgery? And I think Charlie can really speak to that because he's had to have multiple hip surgeries. Could this be a thing where he wasn't in a position physically to get up and go to whatever center they go to, or to the Star, to stand up and pee in a cup for
they can actually show up wherever the fuck you're at, and you're supposed to drop whatever you're doing and
that's
go
what I'm
with
saying.
them. Randy went through this.
During the, it's also during COVID.
Sure.
So, and then his representatives and his agent also mentioned the fact that during the appeals process that the NFL blatantly lied in court. Well, they didn't say what they lied about. So I'd like to know that. Originally, I was pissed at Lyle Collins.
I think it said he misled the.
He misled them.
Right, the jury or whatever.
But I'll be honest and say I've been pissed off at Lyle Collins since before the 2020 season started. My feelings on it were that even before the car wreck and his hip got hurt, he would have been hurt in the first few games anyway because he was so bad out of shape. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm in any kind of great shape. But hey, nobody's writing me $1 million checks either. That's your damn job. You get up and exercise and eat right. You've got 8 million Cowboys fans depending on you, and you're sitting on the fat part of your ass eating Cheetos and playing Madden. That doesn't fly with me. That's your job. Yeah. Do it right.
Preach.
Don't show up to training camp 50 pounds overweight and not able to run around, and then you get in a car wreck and your hip is hurt, and so that's why you missed the season. No, you missed the season because you were fat and lazy and you know it.
It's that crawfish.
So I was already cheesed off at Lyle Collins, and then this just kind of piled onto it. I'd be willing to give him a pass if we find out that these tests that he missed were in this date range when he was convalescing with a hurt hip, and they didn't try to facilitate something for him or excuse him from those. And like Charlie said, he could have been on steroids and antibiotics to help heal faster. Yeah. He was probably on a lot of painkillers, I would assume, which is normal with a surgery like that. But I'm just
But
I was pissed
there's
at Collins
people
before this started.
there's people that Jerry pays to, there's the players have a ton of what's the damn word? Sources or ways that they can resources that they can ask on what they can take, and with their own team doctors. I imagine they're getting a lot of these medications from their own team doctor who has a complete control and knowledge of what the fuck they can and cannot take.
Mhm.
Now, I will say this: the league does like opioids better than, but again, they're not tested for the weed anymore, so that really shouldn't count,
Right.
or really shouldn't matter.
They're actually still testing for it. They just don't suspend it for it.
Yeah. And I also wonder, though, does the league have the right to tell you what drugs you're allowed to take in a year when you're not going to play anyway?
Right. And you know what?
From my standpoint, that would really cheese me off. If this player is not going to hit the field this year, let him take whatever the doctor says they need. Let him take whatever the doctor says they need. If it's a steroid, then it's a steroid. Sometimes you got to have it. So,
well, and just building on to what you're saying, you're so right. Because I mean, there are so many times where the league gets so caught up and fixated in the weirdest things that don't really matter. Kind of like you said, like if you're gone for the whole year, certain drugs or certain things that like painkillers shouldn't really be even that regulated. I mean, so what?
If you're on season-ending IR, you shouldn't be getting drug tested. Like, what the fuck?
A good player, was like Eugene Monroe. I remember a few years ago, the league was on him so much for, I think it was marijuana, and it's just for what? It's just it becomes such a big pharma, tied into money situation to where it's like it's not even PEDs anymore at this point. It's just you're mad at what kind of thing can numb the pain from one of the most physical games on the planet. It's just
PEDs, I understand, but if you're not performing, what's the fucking point? If you're not performing, what would performance-enhancing drugs do? Nothing. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Just help along the process of getting better to come out and play again. Now, you're going to have to get drug tested before you actually go out and perform again. I mean, it's going to happen. They tell you when it's going to happen, but so you shouldn't be missing, or, you got to kind of give Lael the benefit of the doubt, but you also got to be like, hey, man, this is.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
The buck stops at your desk, bro.
Someone come out, it'll come more out because some people are like blaming the front office, saying, how can the front office let this happen? And I'm like, okay, people, the front office can only do so much. They can't grab Leon Collins by one hand, drag him to the bathroom, grab him by the other hand with his pecker, and fucking make him take a piss test.
Wash your hands, bro. Wash your hands.
Yeah, there's only so much. At some point, it becomes the responsibility of the player. Hey, take your piss test, dude. So I don't understand why trust me, I blame Jerry Jones for a lot of shit, but I ain't gonna blame from fucking the player not taking a piss in a cup for a drug test.
Yeah.
I mean, so I sure they knew. Yeah, and if they come out and say that's a surprise to us, they're probably lying because they probably knew this was happening, and I'm sure they was trying to get him to go take one and work things out with them. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the truth will come out more. It'll get leaked a little bit at a time, and we'll find out exactly what happened, especially when they go to the second appeal and shit like that.
Yeah.
That 71 games, the Lunatic, the percentage on that was 35.3. Collins has missed 35.3% of his starts.
And in that same time frame?
Since joining the league, and I say joining, not drafted because he got screwed over there, but since becoming a Cowboy, joining the league 35.3%.
And in that same time frame, he's missed more games than Tyron Smith.
Yep.
Yes, he has. Tyron Smith is down
26, about 26%.
Matt, I think it should be Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
No player will ever
there you go, Matt Owen. Yeah, they're
Nah, they won't believe it. They know he's not taking PEDs.
Man, the NFL needs to learn. Snitches get stitches. Don't be doing that crap.
But yeah, no, like I said, it'll come out a little bit more at a time. But yeah, I don't really have a fucking problem with it. I mean, if he did what they said he did and he missed multiple ones, hey, you gotta pay the piper every once in a while, buddy. Mm-hmm. There's rules set in place. You gotta follow them. Whether they're dumb or not.
What's the most likely outcome here? What's your projections? I'll start with you, Charlie. Does he get the full 5 games? Is there a reduction?
Well, he's already. I have a feeling he's going to get the full 5 because he done appealed it and he lost. So this is second appeal. So typically that's not going to work. If your first appeal doesn't work, your second appeal typically don't work either. But I mean, he can get a cut in half or not you can't cut 5 in half, but you know what I mean. 2, maybe 3 games. My better question is, on the topic is, fucking Zach Martin, and do you move him out to route tackle?
That was the next question.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if he don't want to, whether he should or not, because that's a big topic on Twitter now too. I've had a look. Damn, I forgot who he writes for, and I hate when I do this. Dan.
Not USA Today.
No, Inside the Star maybe. And I apologize. He ain't gonna watch the show, but if he did, I apologize for not remembering exactly who you write for.
You're right.
He's a good dude.
I remember that article.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like him, and we agree on most shit, but we disagree on that, on the Zach Martin thing. But I don't have a problem with it. If Zach Martin, if that's the best that you can do, move him to right tackle, especially after have Connor played at right guard. If that's your best 5, you do it. I don't give a shit if he wants to or not. You do.
Does he want a ring?
And
that's my question. Do you want a damn ring?
It's for 5 games. That's all.
Move your ass over 2.5 feet.
Dan's point was that you're going to alienate him and you're going to piss him off. And do you want to do that to your best player? And then next year you might be looking for a new one. And I'm like, I think we have a different opinion on fucking Martin, because I don't see Martin being a pouty baby like that. He said, well, he could always retire. I'm like, why would he retire? I'm like, because he got hurt last year at right tackle. I'm like, well, hell, you can get hurt at right guard too. I don't care where we can use what ifs. My thing is, what if this? What if he goes out, play right tackle for 5 games and just is badass? What if at the end of the year, they's like, hey, you know what, Zach, we kind of like you at right tackle. Leon's kind of pissing us off. How about you move to right tackle full time and we'll give you a little bump in pay. We'll pay you right tackle money.
As a right tackle.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is he going to say no then? Right. So, and you already got your right guard and McGovern, and hell, there you go. So I don't know what's going to happen, but for 5 games, I don't give a shit if he wants to move out there or not. You move him out there. The very least, put Still or Ty in there. Give him to a halftime or a quarter.
Short leash.
Give him a tight leash, and if they're facing Bosa too.
See what's happening.
And if they're getting beat like a fucking drum, pull that motherfucker off the field and say, Zach, I'm sorry. You can cry about it later, but you're moving to right tackle.
Right. And there were times last year, towards the end of the year, when Steele actually looked pretty good. He started to come around.
Yes. In Philbin, we trust, man. He's done an excellent job.
Doing the short leash, and Collins is getting all 5. When's the last time you ever saw the Cowboys get a break from the league?
Hell, dude, Zeke was, quote, innocent in the court of law, and he still got all 6. Yeah. So,
yeah, like Charlie said, if you lose the first one, it's an uphill battle for sure.
There is a judge that heard Zeke's case. He's in the Northern District of Texas in Sherman. His first name is Art. The last name I don't remember. He's a big Cowboys fan.
Yeah, the problem with the judges, it doesn't really matter who the judge is. Roger Goodell, according to the CBA, is judge, jury, and execution. Yeah. It doesn't fucking matter. That's why Zeke lost.
That's how Zeke ended up. We were able to move out those games he missed a little bit later into the season to suit our schedule. Yeah, I mean, he may still end up doing all 5 games, but it may be at a different time. However, looking at our schedule, I would rather he do it right now. There's a little run in there from about week 12 through 16, where that's a real tough defensive spot for us. We're going on a run of hard defenses with the exception of a Giants game thrown in the middle. So we need to be looking really good on offense right then. So if we're going to have to lose Lyle for 5 games, let's do it right now.
Yeah. With the disgruntled part of Dan's convo you had on Twitter, Charlie, I didn't look too much into that. I kind of dismissed it immediately. I thought I was a little silly, but the part where he's talking about Zach not wanting to move outside because it is a different position. He puts on the weight. He's built. He's conditioned his body for that guard position, and swinging out to tackle it's a lot more athletic position. So I can understand where you'd be like, "Fuck, man, I don't want to go out there. I didn't prepare off season for this shit. It's going to be tougher. Probably going to get a little bit more wear and tear, especially immediately. Especially if you're going against one of the top pass rushers in the fucking league right away, just being thrown out there. So I can understand that kind of kickback, but still, dude. I mean, if you need an extra, few million." Just take it and fucking get out there. We've already got your replacement. That's another thing. Let's say Lael wasn't suspended. Is McGovern starting at left guard for us?
Oh, no.
No, you don't think
They
you
love
like Williams? Yeah, of course they do. But
They
do
love him.
we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they like Williams. The other night, I don't know about Williams.
he actually had a
It
good.
depends
He
if
actually
you're
had a good
asking,
game
should he
Thursday.
or would they?
Yeah,
Right,
he had
right.
Yes. Would they?
he had
No.
some penalties in there,
Yeah.
frustrated, and that was a tough defense to face. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but overall, I thought.
Um,
I mean, hell, even I don't think that none of them was absolutely horrible. I mean, I
Yeah.
thought our
Tyler
line did.
Biotis was absolutely horrible.
Well,
He's
yeah, he
pretty
got
bad.
according. Yeah,
that's blasphemy,
What?
Eric.
Who was he facing? I'll give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Biotish. I mean, he was just up against it, man. Van Sue, it's brutal.
And sometimes I catch myself doing this too, is where, he came from Wisconsin, literally built in like a similar mold to, Frederick. And it's like every time I see him out there, I just keep thinking, like, why is Frederick messing up? I'm like, oh, yeah, the oddish. Yeah. Give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. He's not supposed to be that good. Yeah.
Well, devil's advocate to that one. He started more games than Connor McGovern. And McGovern looked amazing.
He did.
For me, it was the mental mistakes. I don't know how well he was graded, or if he lost him. It was the bad snaps. It was the fucking false start that he had everybody moving but him. And you could tell Dak went up and grabbed him, and Biotis kind of get your shit off of me, bro. Like, oh, whoa, you're fucking up, dog. Not him, not anybody else. Don't get mad. Somebody's mad at you for fucking up.
Yeah.
I felt like mentally he wasn't as sharp as he should have been.
I see we got DJ Dog joining us at the end. Thank you for joining. I think we all pretty much agree they're not throwing Zach Martin at tackle to start off.
I think it'll be a short leash for the other guys.
I think we all agree he won't be the one that starts it off, though. So who do you guys think it is, Naseki or
Steele?
Or Steele? Okay.
I think it's Steele.
Okay.
It'll be Steele.
Riker, okay.
I'm going to have a brain tumor right here by next week. I swear to God.
Who do you think's going to be left?
And it's going to break my heart, too. It's going to break my heart because we're going to go to Los Angeles and right out there, and there's going to be Rashawn Slater. And it's going to be like watching the boy I like show up in the club with somebody else.
Yep.
My heart is broken over Rashawn Slater.
Yeah,
that
I like
was the player I wanted.
Yeah.
Look, it's 50-50 on the two,
Terrence
right?
Steele's ignorant ass, and knowing they've got Rashawn Slater on the sideline, it's going to kill me.
Matt,
Hey, watch him step up like McGovern did, though. That'll be all right.
Matt, you think it's going to be Ty, or that's who you want?
I think it's Steele.
Says for him. Yeah, see, it's kind of back and forth with both guys. Look, this is what it's going to be. It doesn't matter if it's Naseki or Steele. It's going to be Naseki, Steele, and a fucking tight end, or a Zeke chipping, or a Pollard chipping. It's going to be help. It's not just going to be those two guys out there. So, we can scheme around that.
Yeah, because Bose is going to eat their fucking lunch.
Bose is going to fuck them up.
No matter who it is, yeah.
He's going to eat them up.
Yeah, the lunatic, that one's not happening. We're sticking with who we got.
Russell Okung.
Yeah.
How old is Okung? He's got to be up there. 34,
you gotta
37.
Make like Stephen Jones. We like the guys we have on campus.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get no one.
Josh Ball will be back by week 4. You think he gets some opportunities? Well, I know it's looking kind of far ahead. Just throwing
it depends on what he looks like in practice, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he comes back all blazing guns and shit. I don't think it'll take anybody's spot there.
Okay. A lot of it'll depend on the current health too.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff can change within 2 weeks.
Yeah, ain't no telling.
All right, how far are we going to get into the Chargers game?
We won't get far.
I don't.
We
gotta.
We can do.
We want to save some for next week because we got another show before then, and I'd like to see the Chargers play so I can speak a little bit more to what to expect from them. I'm definitely going to be watching the Chargers this week.
Matt, you made a good comment about that.
Mm-hmm.
I will point this out. By the end of preseason, Terrence Steele was playing a lot of left tackle, and to me, he actually looked better at left tackle than he did at right tackle.
Broadus, I think, brought up that point early on.
I didn't even see that.
Man, when he was brought to left tackle, he just looked so much better.
He looked so much better.
I don't think he play on the right side. So hey, yeah, maybe you're right with Naseki playing on the right side there.
I forgot about Collins. DJ Dog. I forgot about that.
Okay, now who is this person? Because I'm not familiar with this signing.
Me either. Who is that?
That was last week.
Okay.
Let me get some.
That's
Little
why
bit
that's
of
why I love
page
the people
up
in the
on it.
comments. They can teach us
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Keep
All
us
that-
straight.
All that
Yeah.
insight. Yeah.
Jeff says Knight. That's another name. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of all the same guy, really.
I
if you
brought
think
up
about
Knight
it.
too, but
Brandon
yeah.
Knight, Terrence Steele.
I know Knight usually plays on the right side whenever he's come in to substitute, right? He was mainly a right tackle last year, and Steele was our left tackle when Tyron was out. Isn't that
Did
correct?
he play mostly inside this year in preseason?
He's been playing a lot of
Yeah,
guard.
a lot of guard.
Collins
I wonder if he bulked up at all.
played at TCU 2017 to 2020. He was with the Vikings. He played last year practice squad with the Steelers, and now he's with us.
Is he on the practice squad or is he on the roster?
He was.
Well, he couldn't have been. He couldn't have been on the practice squad, right? He's a fucking. How long ago? Vet 2017. That's 4 years.
You can still sign
yeah, with all the COVID rules now.
Gotcha. Okay.
He was a top performer at offensive tackle at the 2017 Combine. 40 and 4.8.
Okay.
Which was the third fastest time ever by an offensive lineman.
Not bad.
I don't care how fucking fast fat guys can run.
Let's see. Signed as an undrafted free agent by the Vikings.
That's what I'm saying. That
Third string right tackle.
So he ain't gonna play.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing real special happening here. I
He's
saw a little bit
adapting
about this
somebody
signing when it happened, and I was like, it's not a name I know. So
Matt says he's got 4 games under his belt.
Hey, y'all remember to like the video? There ain't the ones that are left. Man, I had a big old burp there.
Yeah.
I had to
So remember to dislike the video before you leave.
The lunatic.
That's fine too. Dislikes are just as good as likes to me.
Hey, can Collins kick?
Yes.
Jeff Heath just got cut.
Man, let's go. Hey, before you came in, I talked about Jeff. I said, hey, pick up Jeff, man. He can kick.
So what do y'all think about the game? You think we're going to win it next week? We'll do that. I already said I changed my pick. I'm going to have us win. Now, I guess even San Diego comes out tomorrow and just lights it the fuck up. I'm still going to fucking
against the football team now. Should be a good game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're what the fucks. I forgot they're playing what the fucks. They were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a win for Dallas. If Dallas had won against Tampa Bay, I figured they'd have a letdown and lose against LA Chargers. But I think they'll win.
And you know something too about the Chargers, like as much as they hype up their quarterback and hype up their offense, et cetera, they don't really win any games. In all honesty, like that was one of the biggest things I noticed. Like, man, like with Herbert, like they hype him up so much. Oh, he has all this great stats of this, or oh, he's such an amazing quarterback. But I'm like, he doesn't really win many games. Like,
I will say this
thing about the Dallas Cowboys too.
Yeah. So
yikes.
They don't win a lot of games, but they don't lose a lot of games because of Herbert. It's not Herbert's fault.
Yeah,
that man,
he's a lot like a
good quarterback.
Situation.
Yeah,
they might not be winning games, but it ain't on his back. That dude came in and started last season. He didn't know he was going to start. That their starter got hurt like right before the game.
Yeah,
and he came in and fucking lit it up all last year.
Yeah.
So, but I will say this: they got a new OC, and he came from I believe Detroit, and that might not be good. So. We'll see how that fucking works out.
Anything from Detroit is usually not very good.
Yeah. So
I think they'll use Eckler a lot.
If he's good. Eckler's good.
If he plays.
The Lunatic has an interesting question in there. He says, so was it a moral victory? And I heard a take on Friday from someone who said that while we played well, we shouldn't have been happy with the loss, even though we played well, because as Cowboys fans, we need to stop being okay and saying, well, but look how well we did. We only lost by 2. And, here's my thing. I'm okay with that loss in week 1. I'm not okay with that loss in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that if we face Tampa Bay again in the playoffs, I'm going to want to see a serious progression. I saw a serious progression from the 6-10 team I saw last January to what I saw Thursday night, so I'm okay with the 2-point loss. However, I'm not going to be okay with a 2-point loss to a team like Tampa Bay in the playoffs because I'm expecting
Are we including the
17 weeks.
NFC Championship? Because I'll take that.
17 weeks of growth is what I'm expecting. So, to be fair on that kind of a take, I think it's okay to say, yeah, it was a moral victory for right now, but I'm not going to let the 2020 record be an excuse to perform that way against that team in the playoffs.
Well, this is my thing on moral victories. I'm a fucking fan. I can say it's a moral victory. I don't want my fucking players doing it. I don't want them on a plane celebrating. Hey, fuck, we played pretty good tonight, didn't we?
That's a good point.
Stay hungry.
As long
Stay
as the
hungry.
players are disappointed, and they were. They said, I think it was Nick Eamon said that was probably one of the most silent plane trips home that he's ever been on. Like they was upset they lost that game. They thought they should have won it. That I like to hear it.
That's
Us
good.
fans, we don't fucking they ain't feeding off us. Like if they see all of us saying, "Oh yeah, it's moral victory," and they're going, "Oh, well, the fans say it's moral victory, so let's be happy."
Yeah.
You know, so we can say shit like that. I mean, how the team takes is what I care about. You know, it's not really a moral victory to me. It's context of, hey, you know, we's on a road, Super Bowl champs, Thursday night football against the fucking GOAT with a good goddamn receiving core, good offensive line, good defense. We have a new defensive coordinator. We have some young guys on the fucking defense. We have some new guys on the defense. We're learning a new defense. We have a quarterback that hasn't played in almost a year. You take all that shit, I'll take a 2-point loss in the first game of the year. I'm
Yeah.
not
All
going
about context.
I'm not going to lose my shit over a 2-point loss the first game of the year. But like Rocket said,
To the
in the
Super Bowl
playoffs,
champions.
oh
in the
yeah, it's
house.
going to be different. This show would be a lot different if this was a playoff loss. I'd be pissed.
Mhm.
But the first
NFC
game,
chip, man, I'm good, bro. Let's go next year.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. You know, I'm okay. I get it. You know, I'm okay with the 2-point loss, especially considering we missed field goals, we missed extra points. I mean, you know,
There were several areas where we could have avoided that 2-point loss. We could have won that game if we had been
I mean, we made
better on special
Tom,
teams, better red zone efficiency. We would have won that game.
we
So
made Tom Brady be Tom Brady. We made him do what he does, and we forced him. Hey, you got to win this game for your team, and he did it. I mean, and you got to give him credit, but we took him to the last seconds of the game, and I can't be overly mad about that. Well, plus I picked us to lose, so maybe it's easier for me because I kind of expected it, you know. So maybe if you're a fan that just like, man, we're going to win, I'm confident. Fuck Tampa Bay, and it might be more disappointing to you, but me, I kind of just took it. You know, hey, we did what we could.
Yeah. I mean, I personally picked us to win that game.
Yeah, you did too. Yeah, Bluff and Lambeau.
It's not optimism, like blind optimism. I really thought if we got the ball last, we would make something.
And you was right. If we would have got the ball last, we probably would have won.
Yeah.
And if they could have just killed a little bit more clock, and I saw somebody say we should have and could have.
2 penalties.
I went back and looked at the play-by-play. Maybe a little bit more clock, but Tampa Bay was calling timeouts. You know, and
he threw the ball away 3 downs.
Yeah, and we had a couple of penalties too. That on our last drive, we had a couple of penalties that we couldn't kill the clock. That we killed the clock for them. So yeah, you know, but like I said, like if we would have had the ball last, I have one. If we had the ball left with 1 minute 20, I think we would have won. Well, I don't know. Fucking Greg Leg might have missed the field goal, but you know what I'm saying. I think we could have won, and that's what it came down to. Who was going to have the ball last?
Yeah,
and they did, and they won. So I was okay with it, man. I wasn't. Yeah. I didn't cry. My son called me afterwards, asked me if I was mad. And I was like, no, I was actually pretty calm about this game.
Yeah.
And the chat kind of beat us to this question. I just want to know who covers Keenan Allen. It's got to be Diggs. It's got to be. If he's chasing Evans down inside, he needs to chase Allen everywhere too.
Did Diggs always move inside with whatchamacallit tonight?
Something like 80-90% of Keenan. I mean, Evans snaps. He was covered up by Diggs.
Yeah.
What if they're willing to put him on what if they're willing to put him all the way on the other side? If Keenan Allen moves all the way to the other side of the field.
He moves a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because Keenan Allen ain't X or move the slot occasionally. He'll go X, Y. I mean, he plays all of them. So I'm wondering if they're willing to move Diggs all over the field with him. That would be a question.
Yeah.
I don't think typically Quinn doesn't do that. You know, he didn't do that with Sherman and shit like that. He just kind of like, y'all stayed. This is where the fuck y'all are. So I don't know if he's changed, but he's changed a lot of things about how he run defenses. I mean, because this defense don't look nothing like any of the Seattle defenses. The alignment and everything is different. So I don't know. I don't know if he'll move him. I hope he does.
Who's Holly? Who's that?
I guess he means Jesse Holly.
Jesse Holly.
Holly said Dak was not elite, but I say we did not lose that game because of Dak.
Yeah, Milton Green said Jesse Holly said it.
Come on, not elite.
Man.
He outplayed Tom Brady. What are you talking about?
Yeah. The only pick he had was off of CD's hands.
Exactly. And it was a fucking dime.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that CPOE.
Beautiful.
It's retarded. Total EPA.
Tom Brady had him slightly by EPA
A dot
play
and EPA a play. That's it.
Yeah, and Dak
make sure to tell people what CPOE means.
CPOE is completion percentage above expectation. Where you see the take Dak for instance, where you see 73.3%, that's how many passes he completed. The XCMP, that's how many passes he should have completed.
Right.
So he completed 6.7% more passes than he should have. Tom Brady completed 1.6 more passes than he should have.
Even dipshit Dan Orlovsky admitted he's elite now.
There you go. Dipshit. I love that word, dude.
Too little, too late, Dan.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see where he said his wife or girlfriend is an Eagle fan. She asked him, is it bad that I wish that Prescott was our quarterback?
I would too. Shit.
Right.
But yeah, that's completion percentage of the expectation. And real quick, how it works.
Dan would be with the Eagles fan.
There's data going all the way back to 1999 of play-by-play.
He deserves
These
an
guys
Eagle
get
fan.
that data. So every pass, if Dak throws a pass, a 10-yard out route, well, there's plays from 20 years of 10-yard out routes on the right side of the field. Yeah. And they have the completion percentage. So they average that. How many times does that pass get completed? So if Dak completes it 4 times and out of 6, or say 4 out of 4, he got 100%, and the completion percentage overall is most people completed 50%, then he completed 50% more passes on that down on that play than he did everything else.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it works. They go on targeted depth, how far it is. Next Generation Stats has a CPOE, but they use a GPS. So they use theirs, like the defender, how close was the defender to the receiver?
Yeah.
And then that's how they judge their CPOE. But they both kind of come out the same thing. It kind of equals out overall. But yeah, no, Dak had a good game. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady. So, yeah, I don't know why Jesse Holly. I actually like Jesse Holly. I'm surprised he said that.
Jesse Holly is in love with Tom Brady. When he left Dallas,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, when he left Dallas, he was with the Patriots for like 3 years. And
yeah, I remember
if you watch Hanging with the Boys, he makes a Tom Brady or New England Patriots reference every episode. Mm-hmm. When I was with New England, this is how Tom Brady did it, or this was the culture they had there that we don't have in Dallas. So he's a little bit of a Patriots Tom Brady homer.
He's that guy.
Even though he's known for being with Dallas. And I love Matt O throwing a shade out there about the 4th and Long show. I agree, by the way. But when you got Michael Irvin as the person that one of the deciding factors, and you got a receiver that's made similar to him, he's not going to choose a little slot guy like Hawkins.
So does Isaiah Stanback. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He's from the past. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys all went to New England and kind of contributed on the practice squad and special teams, and they always throw out praise.
Yeah. What's Danny Amendola think?
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, like I said, I was surprised Jesse Holly said that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I didn't know he was a Tom Brady homer either.
Yeah, he is.
I've watched a few of them shows with him in it, but not many. Charlie's F. Jesse Holly. Yep, I agree.
All right, did everybody answer the question about who you think wins? I don't know if we got to everybody.
No,
I got San Diego. Ed got San Diego. I mean, I'm sorry, Cowboys. Ed got Cowboys.
Riker, who you got?
Cowboys.
Okay. I said the Chargers. I think I still got to lean on it.
You're not a fucking true fan, dude.
What's that?
You're not a true fan.
I know.
That's what I've told every time I pick
I
somebody
know.
to beat the Cowboys. Like, you're not a true fan.
Now, when I made my pick, it was with the caveat that Dallas would win against Tampa, and everybody would kind of be smelling their own stuff and reading their own articles.
Me too.
So even though we lost, I still just think the matchups might be a little bit too much to overcome because Jeff made a great comment talking about you put Diggs on Keenan Allen, but you got Mike Williams out there, athletic freak, another guy who's dealt with injuries nonstop.
Big time deep threat.
Big time deep threat. Are you putting Anthony Brown on Mike Williams, who has him by 6 inches? So that's one of those questions. And then you got Jalen Guyton in the slot.
I'm trying Nashawn Wright because I'd rather yell at a rookie making those mistakes than a goddamn 5-year guy with making most money on the team.
Can't do any worse.
And Bosa has game takeover ability, which always concerns me, especially when now we got Collins out.
Yeah.
But we have a chance to win every game. But I just feel like this is going to be their Super Bowl. They got the nice stadium. We're going to their house.
It should be a home game. Should be a home game.
It should be a home game, definitely.
And Cowboys are going coast to coast.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that
that's where y'all out at LA. I'm not LA, California, ain't y'all?
Yeah, we're Cali.
Yeah. We're out in Cali?
Sacktown, Sacramento.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Y'all got a lot of Cowboy fans out there, huh, on the West Coast.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got one that's a fucking idiot.
You go a little bit higher than one.
All right, back to the comments.
A lot of people saying Kennedy. Same thing.
Yeah.
One of them. Somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get Frito Lay's potato chip.
I'd
guy
love
outta
to
here.
fly on the wall and practice. See what they're talking about.
And I agree with what you said earlier, Eric. It's just I'd rather just yell at Wright for being a rookie, and it's like knowing he'll get better, or even
let him learn and make those mistakes so he can grow and get better. Because eventually he's going to replace AB regardless. So whether it's Wright, whether it's Joseph, whether it's Kennedy, somebody's going to replace him. He's gone after the year, maybe sooner.
Might as well just try him
If
out
you're
now.
watching a guy fail, at least you know maybe he's learning something.
Right.
Anthony Brown has kind of maxed.
He's a progression stopper, right?
He's not going to go.
Right.
And give him his
He's not
due
going to
for
be
his-
anything other than what he is right now. And what he is right now is not good.
And give him his due for a 6th-round pick. He's lasted pretty well in the league, all things considered. But at this point, you might as well just try something new. I mean, what do we really have to lose?
I mean, for what he's gotten paid, he's been great. He's been okay, whatever. But you're saying that in a defensive secondary that has suffered for decade plus. So it's not like saying something good about him. He's been okay. He's been serviceable. Well, shit. I mean, hasn't been that. Yeah. It hasn't been good since his rookie year, in my opinion. I haven't seen anything good from him.
Even that wasn't that great. Yeah. Again, for a 6th-round pick, he's been, definitely serviceable, which is better than most 6th-round picks.
Right.
But I agree. You might as well just put in Kennedy for like a cheap minimum, or guys like you said earlier, Nashawn Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well.
When is Joseph coming back? Anybody know that?
If he's on IR, he's at least 3 weeks before he can come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I just thought that he was inactive. Was he put on IR?
He's on IR.
He is. He joined. So he was on IR going in. It wasn't like a 6-week thing where they, gotcha.
No.
So
IR
three games.
IR is 3 weeks for everybody.
3 weeks. Okay.
I thought White looked better.
COVID changed all that shit, dude.
Gotcha.
Now I think even when COVID's never going to go away, but even when it starts, hopefully one day calm down, I still think a lot of these rules are going to stick because I think teams love these rules.
Yeah.
And I think it benefits. It's not like one team's can bring back 3 and the other one has 6. It's the same rules for everybody.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. More practice squad. You can put veterans on the practice squad now.
Sure.
And hide them over there. I like all the rules. I think it benefits everyone, and I think they'll end up voting to keep them all. And I mean, it took COVID.
Certainly, if COVID's still a thing, which I mean,
Later,
we won't
Matt.
get too into it, but yeah, I appreciate you coming out, Matt.
Yeah, thanks for all the
Thank
great
you,
comments.
Matt.
All right, thank you, Matt. And I yelled
But
like a motherfucker.
Thanks, Matt. Oh.
Matt got me all excited, and I started screaming, "Thank you, Matt! Fucking A, baby!"
It'd be hard. Well, I don't know. I mean, what's the downside of keeping it that way post COVID? You know what I mean? I guess I don't really see any. You ought to be able to keep bringing players back sooner if they're ready.
No, yeah, that's why I said I think it makes sense. I think,
why penalize teams if you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll keep. I think they'll keep most of the rules. I think like I said, I think all teams, all coaches, and all GMs love how it is now. You know, so I think that it's a smart thing to do because it's not a huge advantage, especially when you have all 32 teams with the same fucking rule.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
All right, so Eric, who you got? You going with San Diego or Dallas?
Yeah, I projected them to win this. I projected Dallas to win this game in the pre season prediction. So nothing's changed there.
So
really,
Bluff's the only one. He's the only true not fan.
Really, all we have to worry about is that pass rush. Like Bluff said, Bosa and the guy on the other side is not too shabby himself. That they're game breakers. They can blow it wide open, especially with being down Leal. There could be some issues there. So, but I just the game plan for this last game, I think it's going to be dramatically different this week. LA was worse than us against the run, I believe, last year, and they were a top 10 pass defense, and mainly because of their pass rush. So look to a way to defeat that pass rush is running up the middle and getting rid of it quick. A lot more screens and stuff like that. But I expect to see a bigger jump in the run game for sure.
Okay. So I guess before we get out of here, who's the player you guys are watching that game? Like, who's the guy you're looking for, good or bad?
On our side, on the Cowboy side?
Our side, yeah.
Dak.
Okay.
I'm always looking at Dak.
He stays staring at Dak, bro.
From his head to his motherfucking toes. I'm looking at him.
I'm watching Zeke. I think they're going to feature him a lot more. And we didn't really get a chance to see his improved version of him this year yet against that Tampa team. So I do think we will this week. We'll see.
I got number 11 here. I got Micah Parsons. I mean, he was pretty solid for a rookie, all things considered. Game 1, I think he's just going to keep improving and getting even better in Game 2. I'm looking at him. Good.
Yeah. I'm watching Gregory. I think, like I said before, the last week's game, there was no chance you were going to get an outside rush and get home. But this week, we got a quarterback who holds the ball a little bit. He likes to move around the pocket. You got a rookie tackle in Rashawn Slater, who I still don't think is a tackle, but that's another conversation. So we're going to find out how good Slater is because he did pretty bad against pure pass rushers in college. So Gregory should have a good game. Riker, what you got?
Tyler Biotish.
Okay.
I want to see him clean that up a little bit. It should be an easier week for him. I want to see nicer snaps, better play. I want to make sure that it was, that he was outmatched and not that he regressed from what we saw last season.
Now, Linval Joseph is no slouch. He's about 340 himself, so he's gonna have another big boy in front of him.
Oh.
Not on the level of Vea, but still another big guy around the nose.
I'll step in real quick, Mendoza. I agree with Mendoza too. I kid around about Dak, but I want to see CD. I need to see him clean some shit up. Because he had 9 drops last year. He led the team, and I was like, hey, that's a rookie thing, blah, blah. He only had 2 drops in college.
He's got 30% of that already first game.
Right. Yeah, right. So I want to see him clean, and because I'm big on CD, but he's got to clean some shit up. He's got to get on the same page with Dak. There was many pass plays where Dak was throwing to a spot, and CD was not at that spot. Now there was one that was Dak's fault, and I think I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure it was Dak. But the other ones that you could tell Dak was looking at him like, hey, dude, that's not where you're supposed to be. So I agree with Mendoza. I want to see him clean some shit up too.
And the Chargers defensive coordinator, he likes to let his corners move. They're real big on generating a pass rush with the front 7 and then letting their corners kind of play man.
Yeah.
Marcus, who is there since fucking because they got their head coach. It was a defense coordinator for the Rams last year. Who's their DC now?
Their DC, I don't remember his name, but he's from Denver. That's why they brought in Chris Harris. I remember that.
Okay.
So their DC, I think he was like the defensive backs coach or something like that for the Broncos.
Okay.
So
Because that's what before you came on, I was talking about their head coach. He was the head defense coordinator for the Rams, and he's one of them new era defensive coordinators who doesn't believe in stacking the box.
Mhm.
He believes in playing 7-man fronts
Yeah.
and playing the pass and not playing the run. There was an
Right.
article talking. He was saying that he doesn't care about the 4 or 5 yard runs. He'll let a team have that. He don't want the 20, 30, 40 yard splash plays. He said that's what kills a defense. He said they can do the 3, 4, 5 yard runs. He just doesn't want them to get big plays.
Mhm.
He said he'll let them do that all the way down the field and they'll lock it down.
Yeah.
So now he also had good goddamn defense. He had Aaron Donald and he had some players on there that could do that. But
Gus Bradley.
now I think he left. I don't think he's defense coordinator for them anymore.
Yeah.
He might
I
be.
think it's some guy from Denver, if I'm not mistaken. I can look it up really quick.
Anyways, just to keep it going, I'm watching whoever's playing right tackle. Like Bluff said earlier, their game record is Joey Bosa. So I just, for me, that's a key matchup in this game. I said earlier, and Ed said it too. He's watching Zeke, right? I don't be surprised if you don't get heavy run right off the bat. He'll end up getting those touches that Matt Owen was talking about, but it'll be towards later in the game when it's time to wind it down. Because in order to go heavy run, we need to get a lead. That's just how it is. I don't think Tampa can keep up. I mean, I don't think Chargers can keep up offensively, especially if the defense plays like it did against Tampa. So he might get a bunch of touches, but he really needs to turn it up in that second half because I think we're going to have to start force feeding it to run out that clock.
Yeah, thank you, Lunatic. It was Ronaldo Hill, and I was right. He was the former defensive backs coach.
Yeah, he coached with Staley. Staley coached at Broncos too.
Yeah,
that's how they know each other.
Yeah, I think Staley may have been like a linebackers coach.
So they do have the same philosophy of because they got that philosophy from the Denver Broncos coach.
Right,
he's the same way. Although he's an older guy, he believes in not letting him get 30, 40 yard splash plays. Trying to keep everything in front of him. So. Be interesting to see how they do that. That's why I think we'll run the ball a lot because they're going to get a lot of 7-man boxes. But I will say this little analytic nerd note here. We count 8-man as a box, as a stack box.
Stack.
Technically speaking, 7-man fronts are stack boxes. You do not see a big change in yards per carry from 8-man to 7-man. It's a smidge. But when you go from a 7-man to a 6-man, that's when you see a significant difference. That's why the nerds really don't count. They don't think you should run until you see 6-man boxes. Even 7-man boxes, it's not. You're not getting yards per carry that much difference than you was if they put one more player in the box. Just a little analytic nerd note there.
So, do you guys think we hold them under 30? I know there's a stat going out there that our record is horrible for teams that get over 30.
I actually think we do. I think we hold them underneath 30. Even when I had us losing, I thought we'd hold them underneath 30.
I do.
Okay.
27-24.
Oh, we're giving scores too, huh, Charlie?
30-24. 30-24.
Yeah.
I don't even think they hit 20. I don't think they hit 20. I'll go high 20s against like 17, something like that.
Wow.
Give me a number like that. I just, I don't know.
31-20.
That's all you get. I don't even know, bro.
No,
I just don't feel it, man. I feel like Tampa Bay can put up, really, and they, with those turnovers and everything, and still put up 30. I don't know. I just don't see LAC. They're just not the same team. I don't think they're that caliber of an offense.
Okay.
The Lunatic is at a 3:00 game. We play at 3:25, right?
Yeah, West Coast
afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, but then it'll be Romo. Well, I say it depends what other games are on. It might not be, but usually we're the game of the week.
Especially if we get the same amount of turnovers, or it's a game like that where we get a lot of turnovers. I don't see it. Yeah. They're not a team that can hang like that.
I would disagree on that one. They can put up points, in my opinion, but you never know. Our defense really impressed me, so they could definitely hold them to under 30. I like all the skill players for the Chargers.
I do too.
I
I'm
mean,
not.
I
I'm
even
not mad
love
at you.
Josh Palmer, the kid they got from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Who looks like he might win that third receiver spot. They're pretty deep.
They were pretty deep.
Yeah. Riker, what about you up there? What do you got for a score?
I don't know yet.
Okay, same here.
I don't know. I don't. I mean, other than the big names, Herbert and Bosa, I just don't know enough about this Chargers team.
That's why you want to watch them tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure
I'm
I
not
watch
being
them.
smart
They're
ass.
just
She did told me that earlier today. She goes, I really don't want to talk about it too much because I want to watch them first, and that's
yeah,
a smart thing.
That's
I'm
fair.
not-
yeah. I don't want to.
Yeah, I
I
wasn't
don't want
talking
to
shit
say
to
anything. Oh yeah, I know you weren't. When I think about the Chargers, there's like some teams in the NFL. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's everyone else that I just don't care. It's kind of like the Chargers, the Jaguars. In my
Yeah.
life, I've never met people who are fans of these teams.
Mhm.
It's like
Interesting.
they exist just to round out some schedules. I also low key, and I don't know why I feel this way. I think that teams that don't have their own stadium are janky. The Giants, the Jets, the Rams, the Chargers. If you don't have your own stadium, janky. You might as well be the Eagles in that trap house they call a stadium.
Trap ass.
Ugly ass unfinished thing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
If you can't even afford your own stadium, just freaking become an arena team. Just call it a day, man. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
I had a friend that was in the Navy. He was stationed in San Diego, and he said there was no Charger fans there. It was all Cowboys and Buffalo Bills. This was the early mid '90s, though. He said there's a Buffalo. He said there was a fucking bar that was dedicated to the Buffalo Bills. Like
Wow.
that was it.
Wow.
So it kind of worked out because we faced them twice in the Super Bowl. But he said it was all Cowboy fans and Buffalo Bills. It's kind of a retirement community, though. It's kind of like Miami. You know,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not a lot of people retire there because it's nice. The weather's fucking 80 something degrees, 50 something at night.
Not a
Hell,
big football
They don't
town.
even have fucking ACs in their fucking vehicle. My buddy bought a vehicle out there. Didn't have an air conditioner in it. He said this was in the early mid 90s. And then he had to drive back to Texas. He said, dude, that's the most miserable drive he ever had. He hit El Paso with 100 degrees. He said that sucked without no AC. I was like, I bet it did.
Wow.
But yeah, he said there was no San Diego Charger fans really. Well, they didn't really get a lot of support. Hell, they fucking ended up leaving and going to LA.
Jack Murphy Stadium.
Jack Murphy, yeah. The Jack. That's what they used to call it, the Jack.
The only people I ever even think of like that live in San Diego were all my ex-buddies that were military, stayed down on the bases, decided to stay for good. Like, there are not a lot of Chargers fans out there.
Yeah, that's what my buddy said. He said the bars are filled with Cowboy fans and Bills fans. He said there was a dedicated bar that was nothing but fucking Bills fan in it. So I thought that's like all the way across the goddamn country. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's like here and here. It's like way far apart.
Right.
Well, guys, we've been 245.
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome. And it goes so quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when Rocket said we was almost at the 2 hour mark, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So, but we'll get out of here. If y'all
Great
want.
stuff.
All right.
Unless you want to talk about something else.
Before we go, guys, make sure everybody go around and let people know what their social medias are. And if you have a podcast, let them know the day and time.
Ed&Eddie, y'all. Oh shit, I'm right up on the mic. Sorry. Ed&Eddie,
Ed&Eddie, Silver and Blue. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. Ed&Eddie, Silver and Blue. You search for that, you'll find us.
Ed&Eddie, Silver and Blue.
Ed&Eddie.
Yeah.
Ed&Eddie.
What's up?
How often do you guys put videos out?
Couple times a week.
2
They're
to
pumping
3
them out.
times a week, yeah. I mean, especially during the off season, we love our 2-minute Tuesdays. Sometimes we throw it in during the regular season.
Our videos are short, so we're short, lots of humor,
Keep it fun. Yeah.
I think that's the way to go.
It is.
Yeah, because it's hard for somebody to watch a 2 hour show to keep them focused. Not live, you can do it, but after it's live, then they'll watch like 5 minutes. Or yeah, fuck this, and they just change it. 15-minute videos, it's great. And I keep telling Eric I want to start doing them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So,
Yeah. I wish I could do that. I'm such an idiot. it would take me an hour to edit a 2-minute video. So I thought, just why not go live? It's
Hey,
easier that way.
genius, man. He's the one who does all the editing.
Man, shouts out to you. I can't do it.
Hey, I love it. I love the creativity of it. Makes
All
it
right.
fun.
So I can send you my videos and then
Hey, now.
yeah.
But no, y'all do a great job. The father-son thing, that's cool as shit, man.
It is.
My son's going to come on with us on the 25th. He's coming down here to stay with me because we're going to that Philly game. So we're leaving the next day, and he's going to be here that night. I told him, actually, you going to come on with us for at least 15 minutes?
That's breaking news.
I thought he was going to say no. He goes, yeah, I'll come on. I'm like, holy shit. And then my mom last night, I was telling my mom was like, Charlie, please don't embarrass him. Please don't fucking talk
That's all
shit
we're
to
going
him.
to do.
And I was like, Mom, I said, have you never watched our show? I said, I want to talk shit to him the whole damn time. She goes, well, just don't say nothing bad to embarrass him. I said, he's known me for 19 years.
Right.
He don't give a shit.
That's the whole show.
Yeah. I was like, fucking and I'm not going to say nothing that he's never heard before. But yeah, he's going to come on with us the 25th.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And next week, Bluff won't be here.
Yeah.
It'll just be me, Rika, and Eric. Well, we might bring some Lambo.
Maybe
we'll see how Lambo.
Yeah,
we'll see how Lambo's doing.
Yeah.
And we might bring somebody on at the last minute or something.
I'll try to log in if I can, but if I do, I'll be in my car and you'll hear music in the background. And
probably depends what kind of music.
Bridesmaid puking.
I'm not sure.
Wish I could too, man. Next week's my 10-year high school reunion, so
nice.
no for me too.
I'm about to have my 30th.
No.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. I have my 30th next year. Jesus Christ. God damn.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys can find me Wednesdays on the Cowboys Zone, co-host Lambo. 8:30 Central Standard Time. You can find me on social media, Bluff City Cowboys, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Bluff Cowboys on Twitter. I'll try to do better with posting, but don't look for it. So please, if you can, just try to find me here with these guys or on Wednesday nights.
What time you going on Wednesdays?
Wednesdays, 8:30 Central Time.
You going to keep okay.
Yeah, we're sticking with that.
All right. Rika?
Okay. You can find me on Twitter.
It doesn't matter where you can find her at.
Shut up. You can find me on Facebook. First name Rika Moves, last name V Chains. You can also find me on my website, RikaMovesTheChains.com. I write a blog every week, and it comes out whenever I'm done with it, and not before then, unless Charlie's harassing me. You can also find me right here every Saturday night on this YouTube channel, and coming in October, there'll be a Rika Moves the Chains show. We'll have more details about that in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Milton.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
thanks,
thank you,
Milton.
buddy.
Me? You want me to go?
It's your turn.
I'll go.
Okay, go.
You can sometimes follow me find me on Twitter under my personal account. Most of the times I'm working the DCU account. Basically anything Dallas Cowboys Uncensored, I'll be at. There's a few groups I'd like to shout out. War Room, ours. We're on Facebook as well. Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. We have a page and a group. Just look them up. Dallas Cowboys War Room, an admin in there. You'll find me sometimes. And I've also just joined the hashtag DC4L Facebook group. Great group. Amanda Foster's the lead admin there. You can find me sometimes. I'll be rocking in there. But yeah, for the most part, it's just DCU anything.
Yeah, you find me in the same place you find Eric.
Nobody wants to find you.
That's obvious.
Right. Thank you, everyone in the chat. You guys had great questions. It was fun as always.
Appreciate y'all.
Definitely.
Make sure to hit that like button before you leave if you haven't already.
And you'll see us next week, same time, same place.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for having us on, by the way. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on.
No,
so they're keeping up.
This won't be the last time. Y'all be back.
We'll
y'all
see y'all week
back
three.
multiple times this year.
I hope so. I hope so.
You ain't gotta hope. We're going. Yeah, y'all gonna come back.
Yeah, if you guys have a free hour, we want to get you on with us too.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
So the Keeping Up with the Joneses show will be every Saturday. That's locked in pretty much as far as right now. Mine and Charlie's DCU show is kind of up in the air. Some of the websites we use because it'll be a lot really analytically ran. Basically, it'll be a lot geared towards the analytics of the game. So and some of the websites we use to back that come out on Wednesdays. So we're up in the air on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It just really depends on when the games are, and then of course when we have the time to get on there. So Tuesday, Wednesday, probably evening times. You can find the DCU show.
We'll probably go with Tuesday. That's what we're leaning towards, because I can use another site. There's only one site that I have to wait for until Wednesday, but it's not a big deal.
All 22's coming back, I think, in a week.
Yeah, they said next week. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways,
All right.
that's all I got.
Right. Thank you, everybody.
Bueller. Appreciate everybody coming out. Love y'all.
Thank you guys.
See you
Peace.
next
Thank you guys
Saturday.
so much.
Peace.
All right, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.